We are live. Hello and good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome back. We are back. This is Insatiable Nights. I don't know what episode this is, but we are here. We're here to continue the conversation, abuse and control. So give me a second. Let me make sure we are going where we are supposed to be going. We are public. So welcome on you guys. Tonight I have with me Marvin. Marvin is back. Welcome back, Marvin.
Peace, peace.
We miss your face.
I'm
We're
back from
glad to see
exile.
you.
I was
And then I have
exiled.
my
Nah,
family,
nah.
right? You was not exiled. He's back, y'all. Y'all miss his face too.
I was
And
banished.
Destiny is coming in a minute. So silly. Destiny will be with us in a minute. She is setting up her camera. But also tonight, joining us, we have my family here. Welcome on Renee, everybody.
Hey everyone.
Thank you for joining in. Um, and we're also going to have Annette as soon as she can get into the stream. All right, so we're going to continue this conversation of abuse and control. The first one, Marvin was not involved with. The timing just didn't work out. But what's
We'll be
that?
right back. I'll be right back. Give me a second. Come back. Shut up.
Okay, so you go
Cheers.
ahead. Right, you'll take care of that. So the first one, Marvin was not involved in because the timing didn't work out. But tonight we're gonna have his view on things. It's nice to have a male perspective sometimes. Um, but the conversation got serious last time, and obviously it couldn't be a one show conversation. It is continual because it is constantly going on. Even since the last show, there were some things that happened that really disturbed my spirit, and I want to speak on it. And of course, have my family with me to speak on it as well. So, Renee, would you like to say anything before we
Um,
get in it? In it,
Heck on my phone ringing. You believe that?
me all the time, me all the time.
Exactly. Anyway, I'm coming on today. We're not going to be male bashing. We're not going to female bash, but we will speak the truth from the perspective of our own and also what we've learned of others. I'm coming on, which is a good thing because this just recently happened. It's been something that's been brewing, and it's not with me, but it's with someone that I know and someone that's very close and dear to me. And it's coming from how a man become the way they come. Hello?
Yeah. Okay. Your sound was
Okay,
out for a
back.
second, but I'm back.
Yeah, because my
So we
daughter's at the
have a
door.
couple of people
Hold on.
joining us. Okay, go ahead. All right. So I have everybody in here. Marvin is back. Renee is here. Annette is here. Hey, Annette, thank you for joining us. Annette, I hope you can hear me because I can't hear you yet.
Yanni.
Let me see what's going on. Annette, can you hear me? Okay, Annette, you're muted. So whenever you choose to unmute, we can hear you. We can't hear you right now. Thank y'all for coming on. Hey, Tracy, welcome. Continuing the conversation of abuse and control. It got serious last time, and there's just no way to just end it the way we did. This is a continual conversation. So I'm glad that we have a full panel tonight to see all views. There's so much that we didn't get to touch last time, and I hope that we can approach that tonight, at least some of it. So while we're waiting, Marvin, is there anything that you would like to say?
I mean, I would like to hear most of what y'all spoke about to really give my 2 cents. But I mean, abuse and control. You talk, especially within a relationship, is it's dangerous. It's not, obviously it's not right, and for the most part, obviously is a lot of weak men, I should say, that are abusive and controlling, with their woman. But like I said, I want to hear the ladies, y'all speak on it, and then I'll just inject from there. Being y'all had already started it, so I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Okay, and I'm gonna interject. I'm gonna interject right there because what Renee just said is the truth. We're not going to man bash, and we're not gonna woman bash because abuse goes both ways. It is not just men, and it is in all different situations. So we're not here to bash anybody. We're just here to identify it and hopefully, alert some people who may not know the type of situation they could be in. And if possible,
That's
give
why I
certain
specifically
ways to get
said
out.
weak. Yeah, that's why I specifically said weak men, because real men don't abuse and control women in that matter.
And vice versa. So, okay, Renee, you want to go ahead and continue what you were saying?
So I know a person, which is a male, who was a certain way until he got with certain women. And it's so funny, the women that he got involved with were abusive. And these are the younger generation, younger than us, actually. The women would put hands on a man. That's not familiar to me. You understand what I'm saying? And then they go around calling men, or I'll say young men, bitches and sorry asses. And it really hurts for the simple fact because I see where that man was and to where he is. Totally a different person. And he's not going to tolerate any. It seemed like what it did to him, it stirred up hate for women. And that's sad. And we don't talk about that. Women can be very abusive as well. And I was counseling these women and the male did not want to hear nothing I had to say because he felt like I was taking their side, which what I was trying to tell him was walk away from the situation. But there was a situation where when he tried to walk away, well, two situations from two different women. When he tried to walk away from the situation, they would punch him in the face. They would slap him. He's driving. They would hit him. Kids is in a car. And it's crazy. It's so sad for us as melanin people. We already get it from the outsiders. You know what I'm saying? People that is not like us. For us to be doing it to one another is crazy and needs to stop. So I'm here to talk about the women who do what they do, who are abusive. I was going to come on before because I was in a situation which really wasn't a physical abuse, but it was a verbal abuse situation. And I was going to talk about why I stood in this situation. But I'll probably touch on that a little later on. But I just really wanted to talk about it is not just men. And now I got a better understanding of why some men do what they do. Because some of our young women are toxic. For whatever reason, if it's they didn't have a father in their lives,
Plug it over
or
there.
they were taught to hit people, no one should put hands on no one for no reason at all. And I always feel that a man should walk away from the situation because they are much stronger. But sometimes enough is enough too. You know what I'm saying? And when you love someone, it's hard on both sides to walk away. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Yeah.
why I'm coming here to say that we're not going to bash neither one of them, but we have to talk about it. We have to let other people know. No matter how upset you get, keep your hands to yourself. And even verbally abusive, and especially when you're doing it around children too, because your children are learning what they live. And that's very sad. So it's a lot that comes along with it that we really need to discuss with others. And when we see someone doing it, we have to grab one to them and say, enough, stop it. If you feel like you got to hit somebody, go join the gym.
Yeah.
Whether you're a female or male. You know what I'm saying? Now, with that being said, there's just some people who are
Take
just
a run.
narcissists.
Yep.
They are just narcissists. They don't care about nobody else but themselves, and what they can get from other people by no means necessary. And we got to watch out for those type of people as well. So I'll let someone else take it for now.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna review a little bit of the last show for Marvin because he didn't get to hear the content. Of course, we're talking about abuse and control. So Destiny shared what she went through in what was an abusive marriage, and it was physical abuse. I myself shared what I went through in past relationships, um, which wasn't so much physical, but it was more threatening and mental abuse. Just to constantly live on the edge, thinking that somebody's going to do something to you, mental abuse. And then I also brought up sexual abuse, but not in the way that you would normally think. It's being made to do things that you would normally not do or you don't want to do to please your partner, but you feel like if you don't do it, then you lose that relationship. So those were just some things that we touched on. But there was so much more. That's why we came back to finish the conversation. Marvin, we lost your video. I think he went out by accident. Hold on. Okay. Got you back. Okay, so to continue the conversation, as I said, there's so much more. Hey, Johanna, welcome in. What's up? There's so much more. So this one thing that happened within the last couple of weeks really, really touched my heart. So I'm sure we all heard about the family in Brownsville. There was a mother and her two daughters that were killed by the youngest daughter's father. And then he killed himself in Brownsville. Did you guys hear that story?
No.
Yes. You did? Oh my goodness. So
Yeah.
in
No,
Brownsville, there was most of us heard it. In Brownsville, there was a woman, she was in her 40s, and she had three daughters, 20, 16, and 9. So it was the 9-year-old's birthday. And I guess she invited that daughter's father over. I don't know if it was for a party or just to see her, whatever the case may have been. But it turned deadly. And for me, it hit kind of close to home only because I heard of another story like that, which I can't say too much about because legal reasons. I want nothing to do with it. Um, but I felt for that family. And this is why I want to speak about it. In fact, Noreen, y'all know Noreen, she pops on us sometimes. This woman worked where she works for a short while, and everybody said that she was such a sweet lady. You know, surprised this happened to her. And it's so sad. So apparently, he was the father of the youngest daughter, but not the older two. And they got into an argument. So it was said that because he didn't bring a gift for the little girl for her birthday. So they got into this argument, and he ended up killing her, her two older daughters, and then went outside and killed himself. All of that, way too much. So this is what I want to touch on. And I'm going to try to ease around this because it's a very sensitive subject. And I am not placing the blame on anyone. I don't want to offend anyone. But we have to learn when to say when to walk away, when to leave the little things alone, when to recognize if somebody may have mental illness. I think all those things may have played a factor. So apparently, this man had already served time for manslaughter, I believe.
Wow.
Now, not to say that someone who has killed before, who has been to jail before, is going to automatically have a propensity to kill. But it's the why behind it. Apparently, in the first situation, he killed the man for changing the TV station that he was watching. So when you have someone like this, you should automatically consider, okay, hot-tempered, possibly mentally ill. Why are we going to argue about the little things? Right? This baby was 9 years old. I'm pretty sure it wasn't the first time that he didn't bring a gift. When do we learn to leave the little things alone? Maybe it would have been more important to that little girl that she just spent some time with her father on her birthday. Right? Instead of concentrating on the little things. I don't know if I'm being petty, but I know personally, I have an 8-year-old who's going to be 9 this year. And not every year has his father brought him a gift, right? After a certain amount of years, you know what to expect. So if I was to invite him for the next birthday, he didn't have a gift, am I going to harp on that? Because this is something that I'm used to. More than likely, I invited him for him to spend time with his child. That is the more important thing. I don't know if this happened. I have no idea what happened. I wasn't there. We weren't there. This is what was said. I'm not going to harp on the little things. You have to know when to say when. Like, you guys tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm being insensitive.
I think you're on point.
So, Tracy says, you know what? Talk. I'm going to get my glasses. I don't know why I try to do this without my glasses. I'll be right back. I can hear you guys.
Okay, well, I have something to say. I think that
Please.
even though that's a story that's told about that woman and how she was harping on a gift, it may not be that, because we know some absent parents like to promise their children gifts and then come over empty-handed. And now if you are the custodial parent and the child lives with you, you're the one that picks up the pieces. So it could have been a situation where he got to the door. She said, yo, where's the gift? You told baby girl you're bringing her a gift and she's really looking forward to it. And being the parent that he is, he got pissed off and whatever. But there's some parents that are insensitive to the needs of the child and makes the other parent the bad person all the time. You get what I'm saying? Because
Okay,
which,
I get what
you
you're
know,
saying. That can be. I get what you're saying, and yes, that happens often. But not everything needs to be dealt with on the spot. Even if that was the case, why take that argument in front of the child? That was
I'm
unnecessary.
saying,
So
forget the
even
argument,
if
but I'm saying
yeah,
argument. It doesn't mean he had the right to take her life. I mean that. I mean, regardless of what she did or what she did in front of the kids, bringing it up, embarrassing them, whatever. That don't equal her, losing her life. No matter what she said to him. That's why I said whatever mental illness or weaknesses he had as a man, it was to her demise, and it wasn't her fault. It's not her fault that this dude couldn't handle what she was saying. And it definitely didn't equate her losing her life, for
exactly.
whatever she said to him. So, so I mean, yeah, it might have been the wrong time to pick an argument about gifts or whatever, but I mean, pull out a gun and shoot her, kill her. Nah, there's something deep. It was more than the gifts. There's something deeper within him, for him to
Yeah,
have that type of anger and that type of, feeling towards her to take her life. It was something more than that, so yeah, I can't look at
yeah.
her as the
That's exactly
blame.
what I'm saying. Like,
and then can
yeah,
I
that's why I
just
said it's
say
very
this?
touchy.
Can I just say, some
Yep.
parents will put you in the position where if they're paying child support, you're supposed to get everything from the child support. Never mind, their child support is $25 a week, and kids go to Starbucks, and the $25 is over. They don't stop to think about that. They just consider
Yeah.
that, oh, I am given this money, and so you're supposed to provide the birthday, the regular day, the gift. I'm in on everything. It's a little rough. It's a little rough. She didn't deserve to
Been
lose her
there.
life, and I'm not saying that that's what he did. But listen, their parents out there like that. And I've definitely been there where men abuse you by holding the purse strings, and you have children, and they tell the child, oh, I gave your mama money for this. Meanwhile, they are so far behind in child support. When the child becomes 30, they still won't come current. But they're telling the child, oh, your mother, I gave your mother this, I gave your mother that. That is a form of abuse.
That's true too, but I do understand what Darlene's saying
But see, in
too.
a
And
in a
this is
in
what
a
I was saying.
toxic relationship like that,
So I
Yeah.
do understand what Darlene was saying because it's how we have to think. Now, you know the history of the man and what he did before. So sometimes you just got to be quiet sometimes. It's hard. I know that for all of us. Sometimes you just, to save your life, just like they say, someone come up to you, you ready to fight, or you want to walk away because you want to live. Or you're going to stand there and you're going to fight. One of y'all going to die. One of y'all going to go to jail. Sometimes you just got to be quiet. Sometimes you just got to walk away. And that's what I think Darlene is saying. Even though, and
Exactly.
I understand what you're
This is
saying,
not.
and I understand what you're saying, Destiny, too, about the man or the father or even the mother. Oh, I gave the money to them. They have to do it. They put you in a bad situation. I've been there too. But I can remember when I was married and I wanted to throw the birthday party, it was all on me. Buying the food, cooking the food, buying the gifts. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes they would throw you the money. But being that I'm older, I'm becoming wiser. So back in the days, I had a mouth. You said something to me, I said something to you. Or maybe I was upset about something, I said something to you. But now we have to say, think before you react. Think before you speak. It may save your life and your children's life.
Yeah.
Whether you're the male or the female. And I think that's what Darlene
Exactly.
is saying.
Exactly.
I think
But
in a
this is,
relationship,
when we're
I
younger, of
mean, you
course, we're
shouldn't have to.
hot-headed. Y'all know.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to be quiet in a relationship.
And this is the thing.
Say your piece. But if you know the person
This is the
is
thing.
crazy,
We
got
don't.
mental illness or something, get out of that relationship. And that's what we were trying to say last time. Get out quickly. Don't stay in it because, oh, he's telling you he's sorry, he apologized.
Yeah, you gotta
he's
figure.
crying and all that other stuff. Get away. Because it's gonna be something more serious.
Yeah, and this is the thing. We don't know if they were in a relationship in this particular situation. It was said that he came over for the baby's birthday. He was the father. We don't know that he was in a relationship with her still. Not at all.
They
All
still, but
I'm
they got a
saying is that, and
relationship.
we talked about.
They
Well,
have a
they could have just had a
relationship, so
parenting relationship.
still a relationship.
It,
I'm saying whatever the capacity of the relationship, whatever that it was, they still have a relationship, whether it's for the kids, monetary, and I'm saying in a toxic relationship, you have to find a way to finally let go. When you see that you're in a toxic relationship, a lot of couples stay together for the sake of kids and finances, and they're not good for each other. And then things like that happen. You have to let go and move on. And a lot of couples don't know how to let go and move on, and they stay together and they stay connected for whatever different reasons. And then things like that, when you're not spiritually connected, and then things like that happen, and you got to let go. How do you let go? How do you just say, all right, we have to move on. We can't do this. Whether for the kids, if you want to see your son, and we have a mutual site where you can, do things like that. You have to, when you in a bad situation, y'all can't get along, you can't even talk to each other, then you got to figure out different ways. But the women sometimes don't know how to just let go. Men don't know how, they everybody find reasons, oh, I left my toothbrush. I got to go get my toothbrush from shit like that happen. Knowing that you both, are not compatible in any way, whether it's just, friends or, whatever the capacity, y'all can't connect, so. Got to find a way to let go, find that space to say, you know what,
right.
It's time to move on, and a lot of couples can't do that.
Classes.
Like somebody's frying pan. Darlene?
Okay, so Tracy says, "That's right. I'm different, but I know he could whoop my ass, so I ain't care." So Tracy says, that's if one takes the time to get to know the person. Sometimes people jump in without getting to know the person, right? And she said the gift was the moment. There had to have been deeper issues going on. Exactly. And if you know the history, sometimes people don't take time to get to know a person before getting involved. And did she even know he had been incarcerated for his charges? So those are all things that we're not sure of. I think she knew. I would have hoped she knew. But even still, if she didn't know, somewhere along the course of 9 years, 10 years of knowing this man, you had to have seen character traits. Like, let's be real. Of all the different people that I've been with, I knew when to say when, and y'all know I got a mouth. I knew when to say when. Like, I was with actual killers, and I knew it. I'm not gonna stand there and have an argument with you. I know what you can do. I know when to shut up. Because you can't just think about you having the last word. You have to think about you getting out alive. And
Exactly.
even if they don't go after your kids, it's just you. Your kids don't have you anymore. Is it worth it? Let it go. And yes, there are
But
some
let me
things where I've been petty about. I got my frying pan back. I took clothes back.
Ah, yes, you did get
But
your frying pan back.
I knew they couldn't whip my ass. I know how to pick my battles. Other people, no, you got it, bro. You got it. No, you leaving me. I'm heartbroken. Go. No, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna let you have that one. I don't care what you think. I'm here. 10 years later, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just have to know
Okay,
how to
but
pick
no,
it. I
no,
just felt
no.
like
But
that
I'm
was so.
saying, no, man.
let me say
I mean,
this. Let me
if
say
you
this.
care about somebody, you're not gonna want to. If you care about someone, I don't care what the type of relation, family, whatever it is, you're not gonna want to hurt them. You know what I mean? So I don't agree with like having to watch the words you say. If you with
Yeah.
somebody where you gotta watch what you say, then you shouldn't be with that person. If you gotta watch what you say because they might kill you, then
But
something's
Marvin,
not wrong with him. Something's wrong with the fact that you with somebody that you have to worry about him killing you, hurting you if you say something wrong. Like, then maybe you shouldn't be with that person. Because if you say
but
something to
there's
me,
mental illness.
this okay. That's
Exactly.
but still the point is, I'm saying, why would you be with somebody that you know could hurt you if you say the wrong thing? Like, I don't understand that. As a man, I'm saying to a woman, why would a woman want to be with a man that could hurt her if she say the wrong thing? Like, I'm trying to understand that. I'm not a woman, so I'm trying to look at the other side of the
Okay,
spectrum
so
and
let me explain it to
like,
you,
why would you
Marvin.
put this?
Let me explain it. Sometimes you go into a relationship, and of course, everybody that goes into a relationship, nobody goes in knowing that the other person is a straight abuser and will murder you in your sleep. But you learn over time that this person is not for you, and you can't get out right away because
Exactly.
abusers that
Why
are
you can't get out?
experienced isolate you from your friends, family, and your village.
And that is
That's what
true.
they do. And if you, okay, my situation is I couldn't pull my kids out because for every argument, he grabbed the kid. Whenever there seemed like there was going to be a disagreement, he picked up the kid. So, what am I going to do?
I don't know.
Am I going to stand there and take this punch in the face? Or am I going to let him slam my kid, drop my baby? Women make those
Serious.
choices in relationships. Okay? We don't go in
I
wanting
could
to
barely
get
hear you.
slammed
Just
up.
breaking up.
We don't go into a relationship wanting to be abused. Okay? But sometimes we have to weigh a lot of things. Okay? And even when I left that relationship, this man would come to my door and stomp it down. He would call the cops maliciously. Things happen. Call the authorities maliciously. We're not together. We're already divorced. You moved on. You're married. You're in another relationship. And you're calling ACS still. I'm not stopping you from seeing your child. There's a custody arrangement in. There's a child support arrangement in. And you keep telling the child, if you take the child out on the weekend, you have the child, and the child sees something or wants something, oh, let your mama tell you mother, I said, I gave her money, get it. These things are abusive, and women put up with it so their children can have relationships with their other parents. And maybe men put up with it too, but I'm only speaking from my perspective. You know, no person goes into a relationship and stays because they're so in love and, oh, I'm just going to take this abuse because I love this person. At some point, self-preservation kicks in, but some people don't allow you to get out, or even when you're out, they don't allow you to get out. So I'm just saying there are different levels to this thing.
And that's what I was saying.
And
when
that's
I
why.
said sometimes
So you guys can
you
see.
have to be quiet. Go ahead. That's why I was saying sometimes
You gotta know
have
when
to
to
be
say when.
quiet.
Survival mode kicks in.
Yes. Until you have the opportunity, until you plan how you're going to get away from this person. It's not that you want to stay there and take their verbal abuse, or even if they hit you, you just say, you know what? I'm not going to argue because I know where the next step is going to be. That's all I'm saying. Sometimes think. Don't go toe
and
to
even
toe.
people. Exactly. There's nothing to prove. You have to think about the bigger picture. And
Exactly.
even the people that do get the courage and the way to leave, they still end up dead after. Because sometimes people don't care. They don't care about what's going to happen to them. If they want to get you, they're going to get you.
Exactly.
So y'all see I added Johanna into the stream. Johanna was commenting in the comments. She decided to just come in and voice her opinion. So Johanna, thanks for joining us.
Hey.
Speak your piece.
Hey.
Hey. Yeah, I think that you guys are saying great things. And I think that the only thing that I would add is that it's not really one or the other, but it's all of the perspectives that you are saying and you are sharing. Sometimes people do enter the relationship knowing, like, the signs are there oftentimes from day one, but you think that you're better than that. You think that you could change that person. You think that it's not that bad. You think that your prior situation was worse, like all of those reasons. And also, as we discussed the last time, sometimes you have abuse patterns in your own life that you enter another abusive situation because that's what you know, that's what's familiar, you know. I will say, you know, my son's father, as I mentioned previously, he was abusive to me. And throughout the time after we had our son, the abuse continued. I, of course, left him. We weren't together in a relationship, but his abusive ways certainly continued. And it came to a point that it was affecting our son because I was still in the mindset to try to fight the abuse, protecting, like I had the mindset that I was protecting my son from his father. But really what I was doing was still fighting that demon or that abuse against me. And I didn't see that the way he treated his son is in fact different than how he was treating me. You know what I mean? So I had to, and that was my comment, like sometimes you have to detach yourself from the situation and see and allow that father, even if it's not the way that you
okay,
wanted.
Cyrus?
Like I remember he didn't feed him the same foods that I would feed him. Like he would, you know, this is minor, right? I would cook dinner and he would take him to McDonald's every time or something like that. And I'm like, you know what? That's not, oh, there's a lot of feedback. That's not horrible. That's something that I can accept. It's not the way that I would want. Yeah. I think that's starting to
What's that noise? Is you, Darlene?
Yeah, it's her headset causing the background. Yeah.
Damn.
Ooh.
Okay, sorry, y'all. I had a little situation.
Yeah, if you walk away again, leave the headset because it caused a lot of feedback and background noise.
Oh, sorry, y'all. I didn't know.
That
In
yeah,
my
that's
ear.
okay. No, yeah, we paused. It's okay. So anyway, I don't want to be long-winded. I think
Okay.
that it's and I think that um outside of this situation that you guys are talking about, because nothing she did caused her death. It wasn't there. You don't do that. You know what I mean? That was solely him, and that is his responsibility. She did not cause her death. So I will say that. Outside of a death situation where, the the guy just straight kills you, um, I do think it's wise to, if the relationship is over, then just let it be about the kid.
Yeah, even if you try, sometimes it just doesn't go that way. Because
It doesn't.
abusive people, they're gonna always find a way to get something off of you somehow. Whether it's, and y'all know what I've been through, the dumb stuff. Whether it's them trying to get you to feel sorry for them. So every time they come over, they gotta eat something or go home with some food or just something when they're not paying child support. But you feel bad because you're that, soft-hearted person, you still end up doing for them. It's such a wide range.
Yeah,
That's
but I
why this
think even with that,
conversation,
like, yeah, it is a very wide range, but abusive people will always be abusive people, but that doesn't mean they always will abuse you. So there is an
only
end
if you
to the
let them.
situation. If you let them, right, there is an end. And I think if we maybe talk about or understand that it doesn't have to always be that way. It doesn't. It doesn't. There
I
is
remember.
an
I
over.
know one thing. I always go back to when Dr. Dre was with Death Row with Suge Knight, and he was in a. I mean, they shared a company together in a relationship, and it was toxic. And you know what he did? He left everything to this dude and did his own thing. And I'm saying sometimes in a relationship like that where you see it's toxic, and we try to hold on to certain things to keep it together, like the kids, or I need money, or whatever it is. Sometimes you really gotta sever ties and move on and leave nothing for that other person to have an excuse to have to deal with you, and then just start from the bottom. I mean, sometimes it takes that in a relationship like that. I mean, if you could deal with somebody and it ain't toxic, then yeah, you can have a relationship, without being together and child support and all those things, and it could be beautiful. But if you see that it ain't working and this shit end crazy, stop the child. Yeah, all right, you know what? I don't need your money. I don't, all that stuff that connects you together that causes all the headaches. I go back. Like I said, I look at Dre and I say, damn, he gave up everything and gave up what he started just to get out of that relationship and do his own thing. And look what happened. He's a billionaire. So I'm saying, it can happen in any relationship. You don't have to hold on and hang in and stay within something that's toxic just for the benefit of it. Cause it's gonna end up with your life, Lord. If he'd have stayed in there, he'd probably be in jail with Suge Knight right now or dead. So, I look at relationships like that a lot of times. Sometimes you just gotta just give it up, give up everything, and start fresh.
Yeah, sometimes you have to just wash your hands,
Yes, we
chalk
did.
it up
Yeah, walked in
to
and did
experience,
everything.
and just let it go. A lot of times people hold on to certain situations because they feel like, oh, I invested so much in it, I invested so much money, or whatever the case is. You feel like you have to stick it out. Sometimes you have to toss it all away and start over, like you said. And don't be afraid to. Y'all know I had issues with that because I'm petty. But the last situation, I was like, you know what? Bump that. I don't need it. I don't need the stress. Because it wasn't like physical abuse, or it was mental abuse and emotional, dealing with things that I didn't need to. I'm out the relationship. Why am I still talking to you? So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to keep talking to you just because you owe me this. I chalk it up, go away. I don't care. After I did that is when all my blessings started coming.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be afraid to let go of a little bit for the great. So whatever I lost, I got it back tenfold and then some.
Yeah, I actually have a question for the panel. And it's based on some of the comments that was on the last time and some of the things that you guys were saying. It's like, how do you know, thoughts, from the panel, how do you know it's abuse versus just not a situation for you, or versus just, like even using the word toxic? If a relationship is toxic, it doesn't mean that it's abusive, right? So how do you know? What are some of those signs or ways, or just the differentiation between abuse versus dude is just mean? You know what I mean? Sometimes he's just mean, or he's even alpha male. You know what I mean? But it could look like abuse. But how do you know the difference? What are your thoughts?
I think it's all one and the same. Narcissistic, mean. When a person is unhappy with themselves, they said misery love company, right? Your life is going to be miserable. That's not for you, because you're not that type of person.
Yeah.
Get away. Your spirit does not.
Hey, Toya, welcome in. Welcome in.
It does not mesh. You need to walk away. Why would you want to be with someone who's mean?
Yeah.
And you're not. You're the opposite. Even though they say opposite attract, but now you giving them a piece of you, which they shouldn't have.
Yep. Yeah. I feel like
you have to walk away. It's the same. It's the same.
I feel that if you're with someone and you're scared, okay, that's rule number one. Why are you scared in a relationship? Whether it's physically scared, whether you're emotionally scared. If you're with somebody and you don't feel secure, right? For an example, so the person may not be fighting with you or anything like that, but if every time that person, man or woman, leaves the house and your heart starts skipping beats, start palpitating, you're overthinking about what they're doing, something is off there. That's not necessarily abuse from him, but that's you abusing yourself, because you're allowing yourself to be with someone that you don't feel emotionally safe with. I think that's you abusing yourself. Those are my thoughts. What else is abuse?
I'm saying if you're not happy in the relationship, I mean,
that you would not normally do, that you don't want to do, to solely please that person, and it doesn't make you happy. And if you don't do it, then that person gets mad.
Yeah, I think if you're in a relationship and you're not happy, then that's an automatic sign. If you're not happy, you gotta get out. I mean, you trying to wait for the happiness to come, and like I said, fear is another thing, like Darlene said, but your happiness is a major thing too. If you're not happy in a relationship, then it's time to move on. Like that's the whole point of being with somebody, being at peace and being happy. When you see that person, you light up. If you see a person and you automatically cringe, or you automatically go, oh, well, then you shouldn't be with that person. A person you with supposed to light your heart up when when you with them, when you're around them. If you around somebody and you go, damn, like that shit ain't cool. So
Yeah, but that's not
happiness to
abusive.
me is if you ain't
Yeah, I
happy,
think that
you should move on.
if you're not happy, you should move on. But if you're not happy, that doesn't mean you're in an abusive
Huh?
relationship. I said if you're not happy, you should move on. I agree. But if you're not happy, that doesn't mean you're in an abusive relationship. If you're not happy, maybe you guys just aren't compatible. Maybe he's or she is just not the one. But how does that equate to abuse?
Well, I think you said
I
rather
think in
than
a way
abuse, if
that's
you're in a
abusing
relationship.
yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it could turn toxic. The happiness can turn into many different things. If you're not happy, then all of a sudden you start getting angry at little things, because your happiness is internal. And then when if that person's not making you happy, or if you're not happy within the relationship, then you're gonna start arguing about little shit. You're gonna
And
start
that is
picking on
true.
them. And then it's gonna start to grow into toxic and all these other different things and abuse. But I think it starts with, somebody's not happy in the beginning. Somebody's not, somebody's not feeling the joy in the relationship, and then it's going to manifest from there and into different things. But I think it starts with happy. You start off happy when you meet each other. You're like, oh shit, that first time you meet somebody, that all those chemicals in your body start to move around, and you connecting, and you feeling it, and you're happy. And then whether you maintain that same happiness throughout, that's the key. When that happiness starts to dissipate, it starts turning into other things. Then that's when it becomes toxic. That's when it becomes an abusive relationship. So you got it. Once you're not happy and you see
Okay.
that happiness is not happening, you got to go on. You got to move on.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about some abuse that I'm going through right now, but I'm gonna get to these comments first. Okay. Toya said, what's the question for tonight? The topic for tonight, Toya, is abuse and control and what it looks like. So we're just continuing the conversation from the last show. And Tracy says, I agree, abuse and toxic is the same. We can't think of abuse as only physical, it's emotional and spiritual as well. And then she said, if you're mean, why would you want to be with a mean ass person? That had a great effect on my happiness, right? And then, so those are Tracy's comments. Yes, Toya, we still talking about abuse and control. So, we touched on this form of abuse. As far as this lady's case, and I don't remember her name, I don't want to stay on this because, like I said, it's a very sensitive subject. Absolutely, she did nothing to cause her or her children's death. But I'm just saying, as women over 40 who have lived a little bit of life, we just have to know when to say when and when to leave things alone. It could save us. It could save our lives. It could have saved those babies' lives. So
And
that's what I'm saying about that.
And sometimes, we know when to push people buttons and when people is pushing our buttons. You understand
And
what I'm saying?
how?
And how? Yes. So
Yes.
when you know that, when you know that, then it's time sometimes just to leave it alone. Another thing, a mean person. If every day you come home to a person who's unhappy and is just downright mean, never have nothing nice to say to you, always saying something wrong, and they're mean, that's abuse. That's abuse. Their soul is not sitting right with them. So they got to let it out. Who they going to take it out on? You. They're not going to take it out on themselves because they're going to take it out on themselves. They're going to kill themselves. But they didn't kill themselves.
Exactly.
So they're going to make your life miserable. That's abuse.
I agree. I probably shouldn't use mean in my analogy or equation because being mean is definitely abusive. I agree 1,000%. The point I was making is that sometimes there are situations that aren't the best of situations. It's not the best relationship. But my thought and my question is, does that, just because it's a bad situation, does it mean it's abusive? It's an abusive situation. You know what I mean? It's like if I think about, I don't want to use the court system, but it's like their ruling, right? We could look at that as abusive, and we know as Black, people, it's quite abusive. But it's also that we simply don't agree or don't like, right? So I'm just saying sometimes the situation is a bad situation, but is it an abusive situation? Sometimes it's just bad situations that we find ourselves in. So what are those signs? I think to Darlene's points when you were saying that if you're scared, if you're having anxiety about somebody coming home, if you can't be yourself, or, things like that. So there's like a litmus test to determine if you yourself are an abusive situation or if you're even an abuser. You know what I mean? There is a litmus test to identify that versus this is not a good situation for me.
Let me ask a question to the panel and the
But
audience.
I like.
What if you recognize that you've been in an abusive relationship and you left, and the person keeps on abusing you and uses the system to abuse you, and you're just trying your hardest, you're doing everything, you're not saying nothing, but this abuse is ongoing? What do you do then? Darlene, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
when one party is doing
what
everything,
you're talking about, because the system.
No, what I mean is, okay,
All you could do is go through the motions.
Right. There's some people that don't stop. There's some people that don't. You could be hitting all the right buttons, and some people don't stop. Renee, I am out of a marriage. 17 years. Our relationship broke up when the baby was 1. 17 years now. And this man still calls ACS.
And
tells, still.
And they tell you it's him that's calling, correct?
Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. But what I'm saying is that some people don't have an off button.
No.
And if you're happy in your next relationship, why do you still remember me, bruh? Some people don't have a limit, even if you're ignoring them. Now, I haven't spoken to him in 17 years. Like I got to the point where I'm like, I'm done. I have no more words. I don't care what you think of me. Whatever. There gonna be some people out there like that, and you still have to choose you and choose your peace.
Exactly.
So it is no right or wrong in every situation. Sometimes there's no right or wrong. Sometimes you just gotta forge forward and choose yourself. So I just want to put that out there. Sometimes it's not black and white. Sometimes the gray area is really murky. It's but you still gotta choose you.
Yeah, I agree. Marvin, you were gonna say something before?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say it's sometimes there's nothing you can do when a person is mental like that, and you sabotage completely, and they still. I mean, that's just sometimes it's just nothing you can do with people like that. You know, that's just crazy. That's crazy shit right there. And I forgot my other thought. I had another thought, but I lost that thought.
Okay, I'm back. That coughing kid. What I miss? Let me read the comments.
So, oh,
I'm gonna get to the comments. I missed a bunch. Um. So Toya says she agrees her buttons get pushed and she have to kneel and pray on the situation. Verbal abuse. And Tracy says, so is the situation bad day in and day out? When does is not be a bad situation? I don't know whatever y'all was talking about. There's so many different ways people can be abused. True Toya. And Toya said, hey, miss you, destiny fulfill, and no, you could never be replaced as a beautiful woman. Okay, I
Thank
missed
you,
a lot.
Toya.
All right.
No, I'm just telling them that
All right. So I don't know
even if you
where
walk
y'all
away with in my situation, like my situation, darling, that you know about. Even if you walk away, even if you don't speak to the person
Yeah.
can still abuse you.
mhm.
So sometimes you just gotta choose
Yeah.
you above all else.
The
That's
blessing
those
in that
narcissistic
is
ways,
that
and you are a better person.
the blessing in that is that you were able to walk away, Destiny, with your life and your children's
Hmm.
life.
Hmm.
You live in your best life. And the
Hmm.
funny thing about that is every waking day that he does that, he's not living because he's trying to figure out how to hurt you.
Hmm.
And
They
that's
don't
one
have a
reason why
life.
he's doing it, because he know he lost something good. Even though we know he is mental for the stories you told us
Hmm.
about him, he definitely is mental. And that's why you can't really get away, but you did get away.
Hmm.
And that's the
Yes.
blessing. And just keep praying, because one day you're going to look around and he's nowhere to be found. Trust and believe.
Girl, from your lips to God's ears and the universe.
Yeah, I think that that's a great point. It's the after the abuse has stopped, the remnants and the effect of that abuse live on, right? So to like your point, you're not in the situation no more, but he's still abusing because there's still that line, even if it's not apparent, right? So it's the healing after the situation. It's learning to respond differently when he continues, because he's abusive. He's going to continue. But how do you remove yourself, even if it's your thought and emotion or feeling to what he's doing? Because it's that feeling that you still feel abused, right? And then he's doing real dumb shit. So you are being abused. But it's like the abuse has ended, but now it's the years and years of healing that needs to occur, so it doesn't feel
Hmm.
or have the same response as it did when you were in the situations day to day.
Hmm.
Right.
And
It's
that's
less.
true. Yeah, that does happen.
Oh, I know what I
It's
was going to
taking
Well,
say
back
I'm
your
a
too
rebel.
power.
earlier. Yeah,
What
I
you
was
were saying,
thinking
Marvin?
earlier. Yeah, I just remembered my thought from earlier. Kind of wanted to touch on what you said about sometimes when I don't know who said it, but sometimes when you've been in abusive situations in the past, that's kind of what you're used to, and even though it was abusive, you there's kind of a comfort level there, and that's all you're used to. So how do as a person like that get out of a situation like that, or even recognize when that's something that they're used to? They think that's normal. So I think a lot of women in particular that's in abusive relationships, they stick to that pattern because it's something they're used to, and I don't think they can recognize any wrong. I know a person that constantly deals in that pattern of abuse when it comes to men in relationships, and they're almost comfortable in that situation, and they can't they don't even want to be in. When somebody comes to them respectfully and tries to ask them out, they can't even recognize that. You know, they so they want the other side, what they've been used to, and so I say, how do they recognize?
They
How
may
do
never
a person? How does a person
recognize.
like that get out of a
They,
situation, break that
yeah,
cycle when
they may
when
never.
it's something that they're so used to?
Yeah, they may never recognize it because, like you said, it's something that they're used to. Even as a child, you know, some people, the parents hit the child and said, "I did it out of love." You understand? The person grows up and their opposite, their loved one start beating on them, and they said, "Oh, he loves me. That's why he does it. She loves me. That's why she does it." You know what I'm saying? It's something that they most times they're not, like you said, they're used to it. It's very hard until they see someone else in a situation. Then they go, why me? How could it be? But then there's some people that did it, that was abused all their lives and said, I'm not taking it no more. You know what I'm saying? It's the individual. Some people like
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
get hit, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
People
that was
like
part of,
cool things.
yeah. I'm thinking of so many examples, but also scripture, but I know you guys don't like when I go scripture. I think
Oh,
it is
girl, go
individual.
scripture.
No, it's okay. I think it is individual. There is prayerfully a time that you get to that you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Or sometimes it's you look at your daughter or your son and you don't want them to endure or see. So sometimes it's another person is your reason to walk away or to change, or it's like, getting punched in the face isn't a good idea, but it's all is that violent or that pain or whatever. But sometimes seeing your daughter and looking in her face and not wanting her to be punched in the face would make you change what you're comfortable, because you could be comfortable in something that's very, very uncomfortable. You just don't know.
Mhm.
But I think it's many reasons, and I think it's whatever it takes. And I have, one of my sisters, like, we were called so many times to fights that she was in with her boyfriend, and finally we said, listen, we're not going to keep coming, but you can come to us. You know what I mean? We're not going to keep you're staying. So when you're ready to leave, you come here. So sometimes it's just that somebody in your life that could see what you can't see.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's all of those things. It's, Tina Turner, she, I don't know if you guys saw her recent documentary. Um, but she thought that it was love because she never knew love. So she
Mm.
thought the abuse pattern was love.
I was getting ready to say
And
that too.
Yeah.
yeah, she thought that was love.
Yeah.
And and she said that it was through, she became a Buddhist or whatever, and it was through the chanting and through kind of coming out of herself and seeing herself through a different perspective gave her the power and the stamina, the strength to stand up. So sometimes it's faith, sometimes it's this, sometimes it's a person, sometimes it's a TED talk, sometimes, it's all of these things that my motto is by any means necessary. Um, while you have a moment on this side.
And speaking of love, like,
Yeah, I think
if I
that
may, good D.
you can go ahead. I'll go later.
Now I was just gonna say sometimes your view of love becomes so distorted in those type of relationships. It's like, how do you get it back? Like, how does the real love come back? When you think, even when the person doesn't, you get in a new relationship and the person doesn't hit you, you think that person doesn't care about you. If that person's not yelling at you, you think that person doesn't care, because your view of love is so messed up and distorted now. If it ain't arguing and physical and toxic, you thinking, oh man, he don't care about me, and so that's the dangers and the breakdown of abuse in situations like that. Because when you try to start anew, you don't even want to give that person a chance because you thinking it's your view of love and relationship is so fucked up. You know, the good things he's doing, you thinking,
Yeah.
he don't love me. You're like, come on,
Yeah.
like, what you
Well,
you
it's
know, you want to
therapy.
argue all the time. Yeah.
That's where therapy comes in. Because what I was gonna say is that
Spirituality.
we think it's
Spirituality got
love
to come in.
because hate is just as strong of an emotion as love. So
Mm.
when you see a person that riled up and that angry and forceful with you, you think, oh, he must love me because he wouldn't be so emotional if he did it. That's
Mm-hmm.
not what it is.
True.
And
Mm.
then when we
That's
learn
right.
how to treat ourselves, then you will be ready to move on into a relationship with somebody else. Because if you allow someone to treat you in that way, you don't love yourself. You have to learn to love yourself first. And that's where some people need therapy, whatever it is. Some people need church, some people need God. You need to learn to love yourself. And then when you appreciate and value yourself, then you can now be in a partnership with somebody else because now you know how you expect this person to treat you. You're not going to allow somebody to treat you less than what you would treat yourself. So we need to get there. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah. And redefining what love is to you, because if you think that's love, to your point, then you are abusing yourself too, right? Because you're not loving yourself well if you think that love hurts like that. You know what I mean? Um, but I agree. Therapy is key. I'm a huge component of therapy. I'm in therapy myself. My husband's in therapy. We're in couples therapy. We seeing everybody right now. My copay is crazy. But I am definitely a huge advocate for therapy. It really is helpful no matter what.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you.
In some form, and there's different forms of therapy. Just
Hmm.
talking out loud, and it's not always doesn't always have to be to a professional, and that's what you
Exactly.
really need. But talking, letting it out is therapeutic. So
Hmm.
I talk here, I talk to y'all. But if my kids want therapy, well, take your little crazy behind the therapy because I don't need you to be a messed up adult later. Let me give you some therapy. I'm gonna talk on here. This is my therapy. But
Yeah, I
talking
agree.
is therapeutic.
I agree.
Well, all right, y'all. We didn't even get to sexual abuse. That's a whole nother realm.
I was actually just
We
gonna
But what
gotta
I
talk
will say
unpack
about
it.
about
sexual
that,
abuse. Go ahead.
whoever want to start the conversation, all I want to say is, people pay attention to these kids. Pay attention to your children and not just your little girls,
Yeah,
because it
Mm-hmm.
happens all across the board. And
yeah,
look for those little signs. Everything is not so in your face. Um, look for behavior changes. Look for things that they say. There was one thing that disturbed me. I never found out if anything was behind it. I hope it never was. But there was a friend I had some years back, and um, the girl was used to be fine with staying home when her mom went out. And then all of a sudden, it turned into every time her mom left the house, she wanted to leave too. Then I started noticing the pattern. She did not want to stay with the stepfather there. So I said something to that friend about it. You don't think it's strange that so and so wants to run behind you every time you go out now? Oh no, she just acts like, hey, I need my space. But why all of a sudden now? And it dawned on me because a lot of times, if you're in an abusive relationship, if your kids see you getting beat up by someone. They now see that you can be their protector. So if this person is abusing you in this way, they could also be abusing your child in another way. And that child is too afraid to tell you because you can't protect them because you can't protect yourself.
Yes, agreed.
So that's something I always had in the back of my mind was going on. It never panned out. I don't know if anything ever happened. I pray that it didn't. But that relationship is now dissipated, and I'm glad. But these are things that we also have to think of. If you're getting abused, don't think it's just you. That abusive person can control that whole household. So look for the little signs because they go unnoticed.
Yeah.
All I want to say to that. So I think that's why
So
I'm such a strong head in my relationships because my kids are gonna know I don't care what. I got you. Let me show you. I fuck anybody up. Go
What's
ahead,
your red cup?
John.
You're so
Yeah.
stupid.
Okay. Red cup brew.
No, sexual abuse is the topic. Destiny, you were going to say something.
Well, y'all already heard my sexual abuse story. You already heard it. He peed in the bed, girl, and still wanted to have sex with a grown ass with me.
Y'all heard mine.
What? I can't do that, sir. You just peed in the bed last
Marvin missed that
night.
whole thing. He's like, what? What?
The bed is still wet. I can't have sex with you on towels. You are not, in my eyes. Now I'm looking at you like you ain't grown enough to have sex with me. Like,
Why? Why? Am I letting
Can't do
her
it.
talk?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought she was gonna say something real profound. I forgot about her dude that pissed in the bed. I was desperately trying to forget that story.
Oh, let me get to some comments because y'all gonna make me go off. So Toya says her self-love is on an all-time high. Hey, Des, I didn't even see you pop in. And that says what we're engaged in now is a form of therapy. Exactly.
Agreed.
This is me and Destiny's therapy because I can't get her to talk to nobody else. Tracy said, I was gonna say a lot of things are in your face. You just said every time the mother left, the child wanted to leave. Yes, that bothered the heck out of me. It really, really did. But I could not. She was offended. I even brought it up. Like it was so far-fetched. Why? If this man punches you in the face, beats you down, what makes you think he cares about a kid that's not his? I hope nothing ever happened, but hey. Toya says some parents are in denial and the children are subject to similar behavior. Exactly. And we got to break the chain of generational curses due to speak. Exactly, Annette. So yeah, look for the little things. Look for the little things. Even if you're in a situation where you like being abused, you got to think outside yourself. Because I promise you, it's not just going to be one person in that household being abused. Just say it.
But what about you, Johanna? Let's hear your sexual abuse story.
Okay. I was sexually abused, but I wasn't sexually abused. I don't have a sexual abuse story in relationships with men, I was
Okay.
abused as a child by two different people, and it's
Oh, sorry to
what
hear that.
it's what shaped my view of sex. I have no conscious memory of being a virgin. So it set me on a very traumatic sexual path in my teenage years, adult life, and so forth. And, I've done the counseling, I've done the therapy, I've even was the keynote speaker at events, talking about that I've survived sexual abuse and all of those things. And what's interesting, when I lost my son 2 years ago, that was so traumatic that it's caused me to be back in a place where I'm feeling abused again. So now sex has become a problem for me. I can't even believe I'm saying this on Facebook Live. Because my brain, PTSD and all of those other things, but you get stuck in a trauma. So when you go through a tragedy, part of that healing and part of what happens is you go back to those other broken places. So what I would say about someone that has been sexually abused, it doesn't quite go away. And although I've had a very healthy sex life with my husband, because I'm now in a different tragedy, sex once again is completely scary for me and all of those other things. So my sexual abuse story isn't as fun. It's very real. And that's why I was talking about abuse patterns and things like that, because it does more to a person than we like to talk about. And
Absolutely, I agree.
it affects you and impacts you,
It's true.
quite severely. But, being someone that has, again, like I said, so because I have no conscious memory of being a virgin, so with my son or my kids, my nieces, I don't have, my view is different. So I did the extreme, like, no, you can't sleep overnight. No, you're not taking a bath with your brother. No to this. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't have what it would look like for a healthy situation with siblings and things like that, or a healthy situation with you going to a kid's house. I lived with that fear. You know what I mean? Like, I was determined that, my kids, my sister even, y'all not going to save me too. You know what I mean? So whatever it takes, but I also couldn't have those early conversations with my oldest of what healthy sex life is, because it's not healthy. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like when you are abused, all of that comes into play. How you interact with your partners, how you interact with your children, other relationships are just impacted. It just is. All of that comes in play. So I don't have a ha-ha story.
It's true.
Sorry.
It shapes you.
It does. Yeah.
No, it's
I don't have a
okay. It
funny
shapes you as
story.
a person. And girl, I got funny stories, bad stories. But my
I
real
commend
story
you
is
though.
that
I
I think
commend you
because
for
of my
sharing
own.
that though. That's deep.
That's my
Yeah, I
truth.
commend her. I commend her. Yeah, because it takes a lot. That's therapeutic right there. Share what you just said. 'Cause that's your own personal thing that you're dealing with, and so for you to share that, that's part of your therapeutic path right there. So yeah, I commend you.
Yes, this is a safe place. I think mine has shaped me in a different way to where I am. I don't want to say aggressive. That is harsh, but
You are.
I am more
You
of a
are.
take control. I am not. I am more of a take control person. I don't mind taking the lead. I think I take the lead so damn much I just scare people off, child.
But do you take the lead because you don't want to be robbed again? Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying this to you as my best
Yes.
friend, but sometimes that is how you respond. So because that was taken from you, you're not going to allow anyone else to take it. So you become, again, not the aggressor, but you take control so that you'll never lose control again. That too is part of what
I don't
happens.
think that's my thing.
Yeah,
I have
no.
a
That's what I'm
question.
saying.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
don't
don't
think
know
that's
if it
my
is, but
thing.
I'm just
I
saying
think
that could happen.
Okay, I have a question,
no. I think my thing is that.
ladies.
What?
Go ahead, Darlene. When you're done,
Yeah.
I'll ask my question.
I'm just gonna say that I think my situation is that I think that anybody who comes on to me has to be kind of weird and off. So I like to go and choose mine. Yeah, I'm
Why-
not right, y'all. Go ahead, Disney. I'm gonna shut up before I start looking strange.
Okay. My question is this. All right.
Why say that?
Is it abusive if two people are trying to date and one person doesn't bring the truth? For
Doesn't
example,
what? Doesn't what?
people of a certain age, like, all right, people like me. Is it abusive if I meet someone and we're trying to date, and instead of the person saying, "Listen, you know, relationship is going along. We eventually get to the point where we're talking sex." And he does not mention that, he's a person that needs that blue pill. So
Is that
No, that's
abusive?
not a-
I feel
No.
Why?
abused and suckered. Wait!
She thinks it's abusive.
No. I
Girl,
don't think that's
it's
abusive.
abusive.
No, it's
How's
Girl.
not.
How's
If
that?
I come to the table expecting oxtails and mashed potatoes, and I get pork and beans, I'ma be mad.
Okay, listen.
I knew where she was going with that. What
This
she's
is what she
saying is-
considered.
Cause I
Yeah.
understand. I'm with you on that one. You want to come
Thank you.
This is
and-
this is a whole different
and invite me
conversation
in.
here.
and then you
How
know
we
the
segueing
blue
we
pill ain't even
we
worth the-
segueing into a whole different conversation now.
No,
This
so what
is
she's
this is a whole
saying
different
is-
topic.
what she's saying is not him being abusive because he's taking the pill, because you got me all excited. Now I'm gonna cuss you out because you
Yeah, but
just
I don't-
took me somewhere.
You
Why
guys are
not we
funny.
wait till it's our night to not have the
Destiny,
pill?
I'm
To
with
pretend
you.
like you don't take the pill. Bring your pill.
I'm
Give me
with
one
you.
of your pills. Let's get this out in the open.
And
because
call
I
me in
feel
20 minutes.
Very abused.
No, I don't think that that's
I
I knew
abusive
she
at
was gonna say
all.
that.
Renee,
Yeah.
Renee, I know you feel
Yeah,
what
I
I'm saying.
understand. What she's saying is when we cuss you out because you got me excited and you couldn't perform, yeah, I'm becoming
Okay.
abusive. I got you, girl.
Yes, it is. Okay, all right. I knew that wasn't just me.
No, it's not just you. Us,
Thank
we on the
you.
same, women of a certain age.
Hey, look, I'm gonna speak for the men. No, I'm not. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Nah,
I'm gonna
speak.
shut up. No.
Speak.
I'm not getting.
Hey, your
I'm
mother,
not getting
like,
involved in that. No, I'm gonna get.
No.
I'm not.
Listen.
I
sticking-
Ladies,
think
it's abuse.
we-
It's abuse.
We
If he
asking
takes that
you,
I'm
pill,
are we
sticking-
abusive?
I'm sticking to the topic. I'm gonna
Oh,
stick to the
that is
topic.
this is ladies. I
It's
want you to
abuse.
Ah,
It's
listen
being
to
no.
abusive.
different form of the abuse. If this man knows that he needs a performance enhancer to go to the next level, and he done took you to the next level, and then he gonna pretend like he have been taking a performance enhancer for 10 years, and now you there, you're like, you ready. Women of listen, we get to a certain age, we don't want to hear that little game you playing. Like, oh, I don't need a performance. Bring the performance enhancer. Yeah, I done paid for this hotel room, and you gonna tell me you don't? Ooh, girl, that gets me hot.
Listen, is it the best? You know what the best performance enhancer is? The best performance enhancer
Come
is
on,
a woman.
Come with it.
Is a woman. Nah, I ain't gonna. No. I'm not stay out of that.
no,
Yeah.
we want to hear it.
I'm not even
Exactly
gonna get
what.
to this topic.
It's right there. It's on the tip of your
Oh,
tongue.
No.
Come
It don't
on,
make
just
no
say
sense.
it.
Come
Woman
on.
No,
bring
no.
her professional
I'm not going there.
revelation.
I'm not going there.
No,
Women
come
Let me help.
on.
Let me help
I'm
you
not
out,
going there.
Marvin. Let me help you out.
Okay.
I'm
There's
not
certain
going there.
things that you can eat, right? There's certain things that you can eat. No.
Stupid. No, Marvin,
Say that
come
again?
on,
Come on.
just say it.
No, I
There's
said the
certain things
best
you can eat.
performance enhancer is a
Uh-huh.
woman who can get a man to perform at his top level. A man doesn't
Marvin, you know what?
need
You done messed it up.
see.
You done messed it up.
No. So see, y'all don't want to hear that.
No.
The
No,
best.
go ahead.
See now,
No.
no, everybody, shut
Marvin,
up now.
stop it.
But
No, I want to hear.
but the best.
Stop it.
Can I finish? See, y'all don't
Yes,
want to
let's
see now when I was
let
letting
it
y'all
finish.
talk, and then when I wanted to talk, y'all said
with
talk,
it.
and now I'm
Go
talking.
with it, because we
Go
want to
ahead.
know.
Already
We
know.
want to know.
I'm telling you as a
We wanna
I'm telling you as a man, and I'm speaking for other men, I believe so. The best performance enhancer is a woman who can go all out to get her man to perform at his top level. And some women aren't able to do that. Some women feel that all they have to do is lay there and that's it. And that's why some men, why you think there's so many strip clubs? Why you think there's so many prostitution
Marvin, I
spots?
think
Why
you
you
missed
think?
the point.
Because
I
hold
think
on,
you missed
let
the
me
point.
finish my point. Let me finish my point.
Okay.
Those women are performance enhancers in a lot of cases for men, because some relationships, some men in their relationships, the woman doesn't feel that she has to perform at a high level and that he automatically has to just come and do. And nah, it takes in a relationship, it takes the woman also not to just lay there, but the woman has to be a performance enhancer herself. And so that's
Marvin, you
why I
always
say it
putting
again.
something off on some woman. You always putting something off on some woman.
You
Marvin,
hold on,
there are men
hold on.
who come to
You
the
just
table
said
who know.
you just said that
Okay, let me come
you
right
just
out
said
and
that a
tell you.
man that doesn't come up and perform, that
Okay,
that's
let
his
me tell you.
fault.
Let me tell
And
you
I'm
what I'm
giving
talking
you
about.
a different
Tell you what I'm
perspective.
talking
I'm telling you,
Marvin,
let me
there
finish.
is nothing a woman can do if a man needs
No?
a pill to be erect.
See, that's where you're wrong. See, that's what
And
I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But that's what listen to me. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Destiny, that see in your mind you feel like all you have to do is lay there and a man just has to come there and put it in you. And nah, it don't work like that.
Marvin,
and like I said, listen,
I know
can you hear me? If you
somebody
listen to
else.
me,
I know you ain't talking
if you
about
listen
me.
to me,
But go ahead.
I'm not saying you're the one that brought it up though. So I'm just saying.
You're not answering what I said.
Let me talk.
If a woman,
Go
Let
ahead,
me
Renee,
talk.
because you're
I'ma
answering
say
a
this.
whole different thing.
Okay, we got Destiny's
if a
point.
woman
We got Marvin's
could,
point.
then he wouldn't have to go to the strip club. He wouldn't have to go to the massage parlors. He wouldn't have to go to all these different spots in order. He don't have to take the pill to go there. All he does is do a strap on a condom. And so what I'm trying to say to women, a lot of times women get mad at these spots and they go, oh, these women this and that. But these women are providing services that a lot of women at their own place aren't doing because they feel like all they got to do is lay there and they man should just perform it, and it ain't like that.
Okay,
Somebody
It's
explain
hang
to
on.
Marvin
the
what I'm
man
saying.
is
Because
getting
Wait.
older and he
Let-
just can't perform. And you do need that enhancing drug to make you perform. You're getting to that age where you can't, but you want it so bad, it's in your mind. And no matter what a woman does, you still
That's not true.
can't come. It's
Not
totally
true.
true.
See, that's what
Listen,
Why they
that's
came
what
out
you.
with the
But see, this,
Marvin, we're not talking
Erectile.
about you. We're just
that's
saying
just
there's men
why
out
they came out.
there.
He ain't there yet. I think he's still in his 40s. He ain't there yet, but he's
Who?
knocking at the door.
I'm in my 50s. I'm
You
in my
got your
50s.
50s?
Wait, hold on. Because let's let
So
everybody
here we
talk.
go.
So Marvin, you had your thing. Go ahead, Darlene.
I'm just saying this. Marvin, I personally have been with men, and let me tell you something. I am not a just lay there and come and get it person. I'm on you. So, two things.
But this is not. I'm not personalizing. I'm not saying no particulars. I'm just saying women in
No.
general. I'm just saying
I'm telling you.
as a
Let's
man.
hear
I'm
what
saying
Darlene
because
has to say.
the
Let's
science,
hear
Oh,
Darlene's
the
side,
science of
Marvin.
it.
hold
Let's
on.
hear Darlene's side.
I'm just saying,
Marvin, let's hear
don't
Darlene's
take
side,
nothing personal.
please.
I'm not personalizing. Okay, well,
Let's hear
relax,
No, I'm
relax,
not taking it
Darlene's
Destiny.
personal.
She can speak. She can speak.
I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the science of it. You could be
You
on
just,
a
you just,
man. You
you
could be
just said
doing
you don't.
anything. There is. Yeah, I'm saying me. I'm saying my personal experience, but not just me. Anybody. When it comes to a man, if you're a certain age and there's a blockage, it's a medical thing.
Yes,
Your brain and your blood flow is not connecting. Okay, and it's
exactly.
not that you don't want it. It's not that you're not attracted to the person. You can't make the connection. Your body won't do it. That's where the pill comes in. So it's not about just laying
Exactly.
there, come and get it.
Well, see see, look,
It's
you're
a
wrong
medical thing.
again. See, now this is four. So you're wrong again. This is four women telling a man what is wrong with men when they can't perform. And I'm telling you, as a man, as a 51-year-old man who's had experiences like that, not too often, but and I'm telling you that there are women who know
I
how
knew this was
to provide,
personal.
and not saying
I
that.
knew it was.
No, I'm just can I finish? I'm saying I'm being honest. I'm just saying as a 51-year-old man, but 9 times out of 10, I'm performing. But there are instances where there are occasions where it's not happening. But what I'm saying is, if a woman goes the extra, if she don't feel, a lot of women don't feel they have to go extra. Then then there's some women that feel like, okay, it's a different time,
That's your
different
story,
things
Marvin.
arouses. Can I finish my point? We live in an age now where
It's
sexuality
getting
is at
a
a
little
different.
touchy.
Now, I'm not getting. I'm
Okay?
being honest. I'm
Always
saying
bring your
that we in
blue
a different
pill.
time
There is no
where sex.
reason
Why I
to
can't
get to
finish
the
my
point
point? Can I
and
finish my
not have
point?
that blue pill.
Okay, so what I'm
You
saying is
need women.
we in a
He
different
needs to have his blue pill.
we in a
You
different
need to
time
check that
now. With
first.
Can I finish my point, please? We in a time now. Since we on this topic, we went from one topic to another. But since I'm the only man here representing for other men
I need
with
to get a
four
man
women, so
that's in his
what I'm
60s that
saying
can take
is
blue
Don't
pills.
finish.
that we live in a time now where sexuality is at a whole new level. So visually, we are aroused by different things, stimulated by different things, higher level of different things now than a regular just lay there in missionary action. Now they're you visually what that what you put up, and a lot of women feel like they don't have to do much in order to get their men going, and that's why a lot of women can't keep their men, because a lot of women
So
feel like he should just come and perform, and that should be the end of it. And a lot of women lose their men to women
hey,
who go like strippers, like
You've been with
other
a lot of
women who
women that you believe
So
that a lot of
can
women
I
believe that?
can
huh.
I
say
can
that
I
again.
I want to read the comments.
You've been with a lot of
I
I
want to
women.
can't
read the comments because they just
they're
hold on.
flowing
I
I
want to
in.
can't see
read the
what.
comments because I'm missing
Oh,
all of this.
Go
So
All
ahead.
right,
hold
go
on,
ahead.
and I'm gonna let y'all finish because they saying a lot. I'm sorry, they saying a lot, and I'm missing it. So, uh, let's go, let's go. Tracy said, "Y'all just got men that can't perform to your expectations." And that said, there's a difference in being satisfied intimately versus sensuality and just sex. Okay, we talking about all right. Toya said, I'm going to say it for him, oral sex. But he didn't go there, Toya. He didn't say that because I was trying to give it to him. He didn't say
what?
that.
What's that?
Oral
What's
sex.
all out a blowjob? What? um, Toya said, just as well as Marvin wanted us to perform at that high level, I hope he can eat my groceries from front to back. Marvin, don't start. Wait,
Ew.
What's it? Say that again.
ah,
What she said?
hold up. So
I didn't
she
hear it.
said,
Darlene, you was
all
clutching
right,
your
here we go.
pearls, huh?
She said,
What she said?
just as well, Marvin wants us, listen, Marvin, just as well as you want us to perform at that high level, I hope he can eat my groceries from front to back. Don't start, Marvin. Okay, anyway. Okay.
Oh man, this is
Tracy said,
turning
Marvin, stop
into.
not being straightforward.
I am being
Go
straightforward. I was
We all
straightforward.
grow folks.
Huh?
Okay.
What was I not
We
being
getting off
straightforward
topic.
about?
Okay, so my question
Wait.
is for the women on the panel because Marvin,
Wait, can I
I don't
just
know where he's
comment?
coming from. I want to know: is it abusive if this
I'm
person
sorry,
leads you
let-
all the way up, and then when you get there, you
Destiny.
recognize that he needs this blue pill? Yes. Uh-huh.
Well,
Can I
let me ask you this question. Can I ask it?
I'm
I
asking
haven't
the
been in.
women,
Let me ask a
Marvin.
question.
I'm asking the women.
Let me ask a
I'm asking the
question
women
to
what
the
they
panel.
believe.
Let me ask the question to the panel as a man here. So why doesn't a woman feel any responsibility for the fact that a man can't perform? Why do y'all put it off on the men? Why? It's just, I mean, you got 4 women here. If your man is not able to perform, don't you feel somewhat responsible for that? Would you feel somewhat
No.
responsible for that?
No,
No.
Let me answer that.
No.
Let me answer
Everybody
that.
No.
quiet now.
No.
I will
Not at
answer.
all.
Yeah.
Especially
Go ahead,
when
Johanna.
the
Let me let Johanna talk.
when a man starts it, and then you go into your emotions and you take it there, and it just ain't happening. You said so yourself just now, Marvin. On occasions, it does happen.
But we not.
You said it yourself. On occasion,
But why?
it does
Why?
happen.
But we both. But
Didn't you say
I'm
that?
not here to blame. I don't blame a woman. Yeah, but I'm not blaming. I don't blame it
Yeah,
on a
but 'cause
woman.
it's your
I say
fault.
I take responsibility as a man. But what I'm
It's your
saying is, I
fault. How you
know
gonna
there's
blame a
been
woman for
occasions
your
where,
erection not working?
Well,
because
I don't know.
I've been in
One,
situations where I know a woman could have done more,
Okay.
and I've been in situations
Well,
where
take
women did
responsibility
more.
That much
Let me
for your lack
finish
of
my point.
erection.
Let me finish my point. I've been with women where they've done more and got the best out of me, and women that have not done more and done less and haven't. So, but I'm not here to blame. I'm not here to say it's their fault. I'm just saying we blaming,
You know
and
what?
again we bashing men, led by Destiny bashing men, and I'm saying in order for
Excuse
us
me.
to come together in a relationship and have a good sexual relationship, it takes 2. It don't take the man. Well, come in. See, a woman ain't gonna just lay there with me and just expect me to. Nah, that's not gonna happen.
First of all,
I'm
Marvin.
a sexual.
First of
But
all,
All right.
Marvin,
can I
think you're
finish my
judging the
point?
book
So I have.
by the
So
cover.
so
No.
it takes
Excuse me. You called my
it
name,
takes
right?
a
You called
it,
my name, right?
it takes an
I
extra
wasn't
woman.
blaming anyone.
It takes an extra woman. It takes an extra type of woman to get the best out of me. And I'm saying
Marvin,
it takes
it takes
both
a pill. You should
people.
always have your pill on board.
See,
Always bring your
Okay,
when you
pill.
look
can
at
we,
it as that, then you will never get the best out of your man, because if you dependent on a pill to get the best out of your man, then you will always be alone, because you will have to get to a point in your life where you have to say
Marvin,
that
you have some very
I have to do
antiquated
better.
views on what women
I'm
need to
saying
do. You have
no.
very
I just feel
antiquated
like
views
we
on what women
all
need
have
to
to
do.
feel like
Marvin, a woman
we all have
doesn't
to feel like in our lives
a
hello.
that
woman.
we have to
Okay,
Hello.
I'll
have to
let y'all
do
go. Go ahead, because
better.
Marvin is
Can I get
not
the
getting
floor?
the point. Go
Can
ahead.
I get the
I have to do
floor?
better. I have to do
Go
better
ahead.
as a
Can I get the
man,
floor?
and you have to do better as a woman.
Okay, we're gonna let Johanna speak. Thank you.
Go
We're
ahead.
not attacking
Go ahead.
Marvin. We're not attacking men. We're gonna let Johanna speak.
I asked one simple question.
yeah, but
Go
you
ahead,
guys got a
Johanna.
bunch. You guys got a
Let's
bunch
hear
of
you,
questions
Johanna.
going on. You guys got a bunch of questions, but there really are no answers. And I think what we have to do collectively, if I could just say, is when a question is raised, to stop changing the topic, because needing a blue
Exactly.
pill. Yeah, but you're doing it too. So needing a blue pill
I had
is
to.
a
They
metaphor.
forced me to. I
I'm
didn't
not
want to.
gonna.
I said, "Why change the topic?"
The only guy that I go back and forth with is in the next room. So if we want another man's opinion, I can get him. But I'm not. I don't go back and forth. So what I'm trying to say is that needing a blue pill or a performance enhancer is a medical condition. A doctor's not going to prescribe a performance enhancer if all you really need to do is go to a strip club or go to somebody that you're more compatible with. Do I think that women need to take more responsibility in the bedroom? as well. Yes, sometimes we're not into it. Sometimes we lay there. Sometimes the reason why we're laying there, Marvin, is because you're not giving us what we need to be wanting to perform. You know what I mean? I also want to say that I think the best sex is not a performance. It's really how you two interact, how you're compatible. So some you could lay there with one dude, but you're jumping off of ceiling fans with the next dude. That's both of y'all. That's not just you or her. It's both. And sometimes
That's what I
it's not
said.
compatible. But and at the same time, if you can get off because you're going to strip clubs or you're using prostitutes, then you got some problems. Men that need a performance or a strip club or a prostitute, and if that's their type, they got some deep-seated rooted problem that they're abusing sex in and of itself, because that's not only sexual, that could also be vulgar and nasty. So there's more to it. If that's what you need, instead of the love, the companionship, the compatibility, sometimes sex is really good because the house is clean and dinner was good. There's other reasons than big ass and big titties. Like, it's not just like, I think that that's just a really
See, that's what.
immature way. Hold on.
See,
I think that's a really hold on. I think that's a really immature way. Because going, like, if I go to a strip club and I'm watching men, that's one thing. But if that's what I need to get off, then there's something more going on. So I agree with some of the points that are being made for sure.
See, this is the
Johanna,
thing. See, women
go
that
ahead,
speak that,
Johanna.
not you per se, but when women aren't able to come to grips with the fact that those women that do those, that perform those duties, that strip and do those things, maybe women that the housewives need to look at these women instead of attacking them and calling them vulgar and this and that. Maybe they should go to a club and see what it is that these women do.
Listen,
Men are flocking to these clubs to watch them, because the clubs are making money. So somebody's watching these women. Someone is paying these women and dropping bands on them to perform. And I'm saying, instead of attacking these women and calling them names, because they just women working hard and doing
I didn't mention
to get.
I didn't mention that. I'm not saying, first of all, shorty, I don't mind if you dance in the club. I'm not saying that I'm attacking them.
So why is something wrong with a man that goes to a club?
No, what I said was, if you need to see that to get off, if that's the way. Remember, we're talking, you said that the woman at home. I believe that women at home, we should all have our negligees. We should all have those things. I don't feel that a man should require that of you, but I feel like in all ways, your goal is to please your man. In all ways, his goal is to please you, whatever that takes. Marital bed is still undefiled. I'm a fan of all of that. I got some stuff in the other room. I'm a fan of all of that. But remember, what you guys were saying was, if he needs a blue pill, is because you're not performing well, you're not doing what you need to do. And look at them, the strippers are doing this, the prostitutes, he can get up with that. So if you're saying that that's the mindset, that I need to be looking at strippers instead of loving my girl, problem. Not the strippers are a problem, but if that's your need, if you need a prostitute, that's a problem.
But that's what I'm trying to say. You saying there's an issue about it. You saying the man has a problem if he goes to a strip club, but there's nothing wrong with a woman who strips in a strip club. I mean, you can't have one and not accuse one of being wrong and not the other. What I'm saying is, there's nothing wrong with going the extra mile, because after a while things get boring sexually. That's just human nature. That's why men naturally cheat. It's not that they love their woman, but naturally sex with the same woman at times could get a little stale. So a woman reinvents herself. Men reinvent themselves in order to please their woman. And I'm saying it takes two in a relationship to keep the relationship sexually exciting and growing. And sometimes women get complacent in a relationship where they feel like, I got him, he's married, I got kids on, I'm just gonna lay here. Yeah, some nights you.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. I think
but
that
then there's some nights when he want that extra mile. Like, yo, you know, I want to. So he go out into the strip club, or he go out to this place, or to the other girl. And what I'm saying is, you can't get complacent in a relationship sexually and just think because you lay there with your legs open that a nigga just gonna get hard all the time. Nah, not. I mean, maybe when you're 20 and you're 18, because your hormones is at an all-time high. But ain't too many 40-year-old women fucking 18-year-olds. So what I'm saying is, if you're dealing with a man who's experienced, then you're gonna have to reinvent yourself in a relationship and do things that these women. That's why they got the clubs, because men need that extra excitement to bring it out of them. And sometimes it's not happening at the home. It's not happening there. And women don't want to do the extra thing. I don't have to do that. Or I'm not gonna do that. Or the attitude is different. I mean, you know, so she don't want to talk. You know, there's no talking. You know, so you go outside your home to hear these things, to see these things, because your woman doesn't want to do these things. And so a man shouldn't be knocked for that, and a woman shouldn't be knocked for providing those types of services, because who should be knocked is the woman whose household he's leaving to go to, because she needs to understand that she has to do more. Until a woman at home, till a housewife starts to recognize that she should do more, that he shouldn't have to take a pill, and she's trying to push a pill on him. Nah, maybe you need to do more.
Okay, we went all the way left with this. The question was,
I didn't go all the way left. Somebody else took it.
no.
I was enjoying the other topic.
I'm not just saying you. I said we. We went all the way left with this. So first of all, we know what the issue is when a man got to take a pill. He can't get up, but he really wants to. Okay, that to the side. The question was,
Thank you.
is it abusive when a woman gets upset because they're not being satisfied by their man because the man can't get up and he needs the pill? And so she start cussing him out or calling him names or doing something. Yes, it is abusive. Do we do it? Yes, we do.
Renee, because I was wondering.
I say at 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning when we all sleep, don't think we're going to get up and beat that stripper or that prostitute. And who the hell knows what that stripper is capable of doing?
And that's the problem.
They're performing on
See, that's the
stage,
problem.
but when they get home,
so don't get mad. Don't get mad at your man when he leaves out the house at 4 in the morning, because you don't want to go that extra mile to fuck at 4 in the morning, and he go out to the strip club.
4 o'clock in the morning when we're tired, because you know what? All of us here on the panel, I don't think it's housewives. I think we work.
Okay.
What I'm saying is you're not out in the street hustling.
I think we work.
I'm saying you're not out. When I said as housewives, I was differentiating the fact that these women are out in the street hustling. You're not street hustlers. You're house women. You women that work and come home. And I'm saying if your man is leaving 4 and 3 in the morning to go to a strip club, huh?
I said work, come home, still work, cook, clean, and help the kids. So it's never, you got to understand that 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. Now you want to do it. You should have did it when I got in bed.
It's attitudes like that though that causes most women to lose their men, because when a man hears a woman say, "I'm not doing that,"
I don't give
I'm not.
fig.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying. But what I'm saying is, for the most part, when a man hears a woman keep telling him, "I'm not doing that. I'm not wearing that. I'm not talking like that. I'm not gonna do." I mean, those type of things turn a man off to the point where, well, if you're not gonna do those things, if you're not gonna come in and be excited and not just lay there,
he does not need
his
blue
sometimes,
pill.
like I said, because of a lot of things, it takes a lot more.
Marvin. Allow someone else, please. You're repeating yourself.
All right. Well, listen.
My question was,
I'm the only man here.
I'm not
speaking amongst women who feel a certain way.
I'm not including Marvin. My question is to the other ladies on the panel and the ladies out there. Do you women think that it's abusive if a man needs an enhancement to get
Yo,
this
listen.
thing going and has brought you to the point now you're
We're
there?
still talking about that.
You're done. I'm not talking to Marvin. I'm not talking to Marvin because I know how you feel. You already told us. I'm asking the other women on the panel. Is it abusive? Is it considered abuse if this man needs a performance enhancer and is pretending like he doesn't?
Well,
And
let me
Marvin, I don't think that people over 50 necessarily needs performance enhancers because I know at least one 60-year-old that popping. I'm just asking a question.
I'm gonna say this. Thank all y'all questions. We done took this conversation way left. Number one. Number two, it is not abuse if they need enhancers. Not all men need enhancers. Let's say that. There are situations where you are with somebody and y'all really don't click. Okay, so you know where they should be because you don't really like the person. If that's the case, you shouldn't be with the person. That's number one. Number two, we're not going to talk about just what women do because y'all did. I'm the one that will do it all. But if the piping is just off, it's just off. I was with somebody years ago. I know I ain't gonna say no names, but had the nerve to come. You know, we were supposed to have a little night. And being that this person was in their early 40s, I'm not gonna think that there's a piping problem going on. That's not gonna naturally come to my brain. Well, it was. Because there were medical issues going on. So no matter how much he wanted to, he knew he couldn't before he came over. Didn't say anything until we're in the mix. Now you want to tell me, well, you know I have diabetes and high blood pressure. You didn't perform before you came over.
That's what I'm talking about.
The point that Destiny's making. Not that it's abusive, but it's insensitive because you know what you came to do.
Well, see, then I think that
Charlotte.
it's not even just specific to sex. Is a man that, what is that called, passive aggressive, or that doesn't hold his truth or doesn't tell you or is like afraid to talk or whatever. I think that even outside of sex, I think that is an abusive pattern. If you know that we're going out to dinner, but you don't have no money and you're not going to tell me until it's time to take the bill. Yes, I think that is. I think that he has some deep insecurities. And I think that is abusive if he's just expecting it. So I think in both of those examples, if the question is, if a man is presenting something that he can't do and he's not willing to say it, just expect me to that's abusive. Like I feel like because I feel like setting false expectations is. So I think that, yes, I do. To answer your original question, Destiny.
Thank you, because I remember I paid for the room. I'm in. I'm on the way in. And you didn't bring the bill.
So, okay. So, all right, we going to go there.
Yeah.
Here we go.
But I will say, I know we're sticking there, but Marvin, I agree with what you're saying in terms of it is also the woman's responsibility to aid and assist her man staying at home. So if you prefer women that wear red, I'm gonna wear red. I do agree with what you're saying that we have to, as women, we have to now, do I feel like it's solely ours? Do I feel like my husband does not share equal responsibility? So if I prefer a beard, do not shave your beard. Do you know what I mean? Things like that. I think that especially in a relationship, right? Or in a committed relationship, your goal still is to please your spouse. So
when does
sometimes
that
you have
become
to do
abusive?
things. When does that have to become abusive?
Thank you. That's
it has
a fact.
to become okay. So it becomes abusive when that expectation exceeds his love or desire for you. If you won't perform or if you don't want me because I don't wear red, then there's a problem. If you prefer
Or
red, I
because
got you. But
or because you won't permanently change your hair color. You
right,
have to always wear a wig because he likes blondes. So you have to
right.
always wear
Or
blonde.
if you won't grow. So if you prefer that I do this and you see what that's doing to me and I can't handle it, I don't like it, I don't agree, and you won't change your ways or your expectations, that's abusive. Any expectation over our agreement, our decision, our love, your love for me, that is abusive. But with all of that being said, don't shave your beard.
Shahad is not having it.
Mm-mm.
But that's why that was my only point is that
Y'all messing with her.
it takes two in a relationship to keep
Yes.
it going sexually. You know, like I said, the foundation of a relationship is spiritual and mental and physical. And physical has different layers to it that includes sex. And if you can't maintain a healthy sexual relationship and what it takes to please your man, and the man understands what it takes to please his woman. If y'all
Yeah.
can't get to that common ground, then the relationship is lost without those foundations. So
Well,
I
I
mean, to
don't feel
say,
that it
oh,
has to be.
you know, he got
I
to
don't
do
feel that
this
it
and
has
I
to
don't have to
be
do
lost.
anything. And
Yeah, I don't feel that it has to be lost because keep in mind what I just shared with you all about where I'm at right now sexually. So right now I'm not where I was, and I'm not going to go into details. So if my husband is feeling horny and decides to go to a strip club, he has absolutely violated our marriage. So if your spouse can't do those things for various reasons and you choose to seek it outside of the relationship, you are absolutely wrong. You're absolutely wrong. So we can't just have a blanket answer, a blanket response. If there's no, he's wrong.
I
You're
don't know if
wrong.
y'all ever seen this movie, right? It starred I'll be real quick with it. And what's that young girl? I can't anyway, but she saw her father cheating on her husband, on her mother, and she ended up seeing him going into a cabin with this other woman, and she started the fire, blew it up, killed her father, and years later she didn't realize that the mother was giving him the okay to do that because she had a mastectomy in her both her breasts, and she didn't feel sexy towards him and he didn't feel sexual towards her, and so she allowed him to go by the relationship to do certain things, and the daughter didn't know that and end up killing him. And you know, I forgot the name of it. Good movie though, deep movie. But I say that to say sometimes we don't know or what we won't allow to happen when in a relationship if we want it to succeed. And some people might on the outside look at it and go, oh, that's not conventional or that's not how it's supposed to be. But if you love one another and sex is not the end all be all at the moment, and you want to maintain your love, and you still love one another, and you still want to maintain that relationship, some things you have to. Sometimes you might have to sacrifice, or I mean, just for the betterment of the relationship or the family. And so, you know, again, to make a long story short, I don't knock women that do things outside the household, the street hustling women, the strip and do all the things to provide for a man and provide for their family. And and I salute the women in the household who do the extra things to provide for her man to keep the relationship going and fertile. You know, a lot of women don't do that. A lot of women think that they, you know, just because they open their legs, that's it. Nah, that's not it. You know, that's not it.
Okay.
And sooner or later they'll realize. Sooner or later they'll realize that that's not it, and you have to do more. And the fact that you do more doesn't mean you any less than a woman because you do more. You know that nah, I don't understand that concept with a lot of women that if they do extra, I don't even consider extra. You just doing what you need to do when in a relationship together, both men and women. I say that as a man too. You know, men have to start doing things extra to maintain and keep their women satisfied as well. I mean, it goes both ways. I'm not just pointing the finger at women, but being that the finger was pointed initially by someone at men, I'm just giving a different perspective that it's on both sides that it takes two to keep a relationship stimulated, to keep a man stimulated. And in this day and age where visual stimulation is like, wow, that's what's whoa, oh yeah, like, oh man. So he is at a different level now. So the normal stuff that we used to seeing, that don't do it no more. So now there's like a whole wow, what the hell is she doing? You know, these are things that men are seeing now with all the internet and all these different things. So you seeing all this different stuff, and now you coming home, and your woman just laying there like, hello, like what? That's it. I just watched this chick do some backflip. You know, I mean, not saying I want you to do that, but this is what we're getting. I'm telling you, as a man now, as many men will say, we getting this visual stimulation daily. And then we come home, and then it's like,
Okay, Marvin.
oh,
Marvin, you sound very single.
I
Okay.
am single.
Yeah, I could tell.
I was
I
gonna
could
say,
tell.
well said. I was gonna say, Marvin, well said, because you did say a lot of good. You had a lot of good views and points, but you know,
Thank
you
you.
keep going back
Thank you. I
to
appreciate
the what the woman's doing
it.
stuff. But yeah, you hit it. You explained. We understand it. We got it. Thank you.
No doubt.
Hey,
Respect.
let me attack some comments here. So Annette says people often fail to know how to arouse their partner without even having the actual act of intercourse, which is a big problem within itself. And Tracy says, so Marvin, can you backflip and land in the hole?
Okay.
But one,
All right.
but one thing
I
I
know
would
what
do,
I was gonna
if
say.
my woman asked me to give it a try, I'd try that motherfucker
I want to see
I
a
would
50
try
plus
it
year old be on the
for
pole.
her. That's the
I was
thing.
calling it. Okay.
I'll probably end up in a hospital with a broken
Marvin.
dick, but I mean,
Marvin, would you
yeah.
go to a strip club where there's a 50-year-old, a 60-year-old on the pole?
Yes,
You
I
heard me,
would.
Marvin? You would?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you said the visual.
Okay. Darlene, do you have any
Yeah,
other
yeah.
story that you
I
might
have-
think is, sexually abusive? Because that was just mine. I just thought that, if you need your little
I
blue
wanna
feeling, you
know-
ain't bringing it.
I already shared my abuse. I want to know if I am being sexually abusive right now towards someone. I want y'all opinion. I'm gonna take it to you since you're the only man here. People highly opinionated. I want to know if I'm being sexually abusive towards someone. So here, there is someone that I vibe with, right? So we do the back and forth, hey, hi, messaging, whatever. I am normally the first one to bring up sex, right? Because I'm assuming that's where it's going. Like, hey, what's up? And then it's a shutdown. Am I being pushy? Or is the bigger problem there?
You
I
can
don't
take
think
that,
you're
Renee.
being
You can
pushy.
take that, Renee. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to. You can take that, Renee.
No, he
You know.
asked, she asked Marvin. She asked Marvin.
I asked Marvin first.
Oh, I'm
Am
sorry. I
being
didn't hear
pushy?
Marvin's
Oh, you asked
name.
me?
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, I asked
I
you.
didn't either. I don't think you're being.
Abusive.
I don't think you're being pushy. I mean, abusive. Yeah, I don't think it's abusive. I just think in a situation like that, maybe it's not the right situation for the moment, and you gotta pick the right moment. I don't think it's the right moment. Yeah, but sometimes it's just you think it's the right situation, and sometimes it's just not the timing is off. Sometimes it's different things, taking place, and it's just the moment ain't there. It's just the moment's not there. But I don't think you're being abusive. I think you're being a expressive woman.
Yeah, I know. I'm straight up.
But I don't take it as a yeah.
Because I'm like, maybe
I don't think it's abuse.
now.
I think
Okay,
it
what
can
you got
be
to say,
abusive.
Renee?
I think it can be abusive. I think
What's
that if
right?
you don't let it go, I think it can be abusive. I think that you have an expectation that right now he's not matching or sharing in that expectation. So if you continue pushing for it and not reading those signs and not just seeing like maybe he really just wants to go out for coffee, and if you keep pushing it, that is abusive. And I think that if it was the other shoe on the foot and you were the
Sexual
other shoe on the
harassment.
foot or whatever, yeah, you'd be saying like, oh my God, he's such a hoe. Like he's being abusive because all he wants is sex. All he wants is sex. Girl, all you want is sex. That's abusive. So I need you to calm down or find someone else. Slow down.
Give me the whole
Let it go.
quarterback thirst bucket. We all thirst
Let
bucket
me
up
give you
here.
the. Y'all know I'm a thirst bucket, but let me give you the whole scenario though, because you know, and you know to be hey hi how you doing whatever, and then it's I want you so bad. Well, come get it, and then shut down.
But see, that's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes it's the moment, the timing might not be right. He might, yeah, obviously you're not in a relationship, so he might be in a relationship, and he might not be able to get out at that moment.
He's not. So I take people at
Huh?
their word. If you tell me, he said he's not. And
Nah,
I
I
said,
think
"Are you sure?"
he might
I
be
take
in a. Yeah,
Well, I'm going to give you the words from the sexual harassment Me Too playbook. If it no is no. So if he says, "Oh, I want you so bad," why don't you come like, "Oh, I want you so bad," and if you say, "Here I am," and touch him and he moved back, that's abusive. Think about it. If that was a woman
That's
and you were the
sexual
man,
harassment.
there are boundaries. It doesn't matter what he's saying. If his actions aren't leading up,
no, I don't
I
think
need
that's
you
abusive.
to
I think because
It's
if a
called
woman said
sexual
that to a
abuse.
man, no, but if a woman said to a man, "I want you so bad," and then he comes over towards her and says, "All right, here I am, baby," and then she goes, "Oh, you abusing me," then that ain't gonna fly in the court of law. Like, nah,
no, not
you
that you're
enticed him.
abusing me. No, but I don't think that's
No,
her
but I'm
point.
saying
If she
that
says,
type
"Here
of
I am,"
ex,
and he doesn't respond, he
yeah,
doesn't say, "Okay, here I am too,"
yeah.
or if she jumps on him, that's abusive. It is.
It's sexual
Oh,
abuse.
yeah. If she just jumps on him, but
The girl
if he leads
clearly
her
is
on and
ready to
says,
jump on him. She clearly ready to pounce.
long as she,
Exactly. That's
long
why
as she
he ain't
doesn't
coming
pounce,
over.
it's all good. It's all good.
Okay.
See, that's another thing too with a lot of dudes. A lot of dudes are intimidated by forceful women, and so you might have a dude that's not in tune with you in that sense, where he feels intimidated because you forceful, and some dudes ain't that turns a lot of dudes off.
And
So
he
that
might
might be the
need the
case.
blue
You might
pill.
be too in charge.
See,
He might need a pill.
but I didn't want to go there.
And he might need the blue pill. He said, "Oh
I was
man,
like,
Okay.
Nah,
no.
no, I think it's more I think it's more psychological. I think you probably forceful towards him, and it scares him.
You push it.
It's the
He ain't the
woman's
type of cat
fault.
that could take a woman
No.
like
Renee,
you.
come on.
You know, I'd be like, drop them drawers. What the problem is? You call me.
Exactly.
That scares. That might scare him. You know what I mean? So that's a different type of cat. You
Jihad,
got
I
to
would
switch
need
it
the
up.
handbook. Could you email it to me, please?
Okay. So
Listen,
Renee,
Yeah.
what is
y'all need to
something
listen
that's
to me
abused
more.
sexually abusive that I don't
What
know
y'all
is
need to
sexually
do
abusive
is
that I need to look out for?
the
what'd
women
you say?
the women on this
That's
Hold
panel
on, Marvin.
need to
Hold on.
listen to
Hold on.
me
Hold on.
more.
Hold on. I'm
That's what
asking
y'all
Renee
need
a
to do.
question. I'm asking Renee a
That's the
question.
Okay,
problem.
Marvin.
You
This is
you
my
you
last
li-
question
you
for
asking questions, but you're not listening to the man. And if you listen to me, maybe you
Marvin.
would have a lot of your
Marvin, I
answers
can't
questions.
listen to you because your answers make no sense to me. I'm asking
See,
Renee a
that's the
question.
problem right there.
Okay,
That's the
Marvin,
what you
problem.
I can't ask you. I can't ask you. I don't think you have the answers for me. So I'm asking someone else that might have an
You,
answer for me.
I know.
Yeah.
That's the
We
problem.
we
Okay,
all know
Marvin.
that
I'm gonna
comment
take that.
wasn't
I'm
for
gonna
me.
hold that.
Yeah, we all know
Okay.
that comment wasn't for me, so y'all can respond to that one. 'Cause
See, look, see,
we,
No.
there you go.
Renee, I'm asking you, what do you think is sexually abusive in a relationship?
I think
What do you
sex.
think, besides what we've already covered? Something that we have not covered
When
that
you talk about the
you have to think.
physical, you talk about the
Huh?
physical or no?
No. I'm. Is there something that you think is also a form of sexual abuse that we have not covered so far?
Hmm.
such a wide range.
Well, I think if a woman says no, whether they married or not, I had a conversation with my boyfriend actually about when a person is married and the woman says no and the man takes it anyway. That's sexual abuse.
Yes, that's right.
That is rape.
You know, at one time in this country that wasn't rape.
Exactly.
It's still
We
not.
had to make it rape.
That's
Because
morbid. Sometimes I
that's
Yeah.
just
my
want to hear
thing. We had
somebody
to make it rape. And we had
opinion.
that discussion. And he said that. He said back in the
Yeah,
days, it
that's
wasn't
true.
rape. But they had to make it
Yeah, that's
rape
true.
because
Yeah, they
if
changed.
she
Yeah,
didn't
they
want to
changed the
do it
laws.
at that time,
Yeah,
she didn't have
yeah.
to do it. And I said, because we were talking about the Cosby thing and everything, I said, maybe they need to go back 20 years to get those husbands that actually took it from the woman when she didn't want to. May it be that she
That's
was
a
sick,
fact.
she was on her menses or whatever. That's still
That's a fact.
rape because she didn't
Or
want
maybe
to.
That's a
it
fact.
She's not
lasted
your
3 seconds
property.
or 3 minutes and she didn't feel like she needed to put
And
in
and
any
on,
time.
on a serious
I mean,
on a serious note too, there are still like cultures in not only in this country in other countries like the Jewish faith, for instance, where
Marvin, we're
women
asking about
rights
personal
as
experiences.
We're not
Talking
as far
about
as divorcing.
supposing and stuff like
And
that,
see, I'm
Marvin.
talking about something serious.
No.
She asked us,
Well,
we
this
talking
is
about a
serious.
serious topic,
This
and
is
you cutting me
serious. We
off.
all
I'm
know
making
this.
a serious
Let's
statement,
hear what he's
Marvin,
going to
and you
say.
cut me
But
Marvin,
make
off.
we're
sure.
Like
asking about
that's
each other's
disrespectful.
opinions and
And I'm speaking
experiences.
on that. And I'm speaking on that. That's what I'm. If you will listen, like I told you before, if you learn to listen
Oh
to a
my
man,
God.
maybe you have a different perspective about men. But you don't like to listen to when a man speaks.
Marvin,
And
it's
I'm
not that
trying
I
to
don't like to
explain
listen
myself.
to men. It's that you always
Okay,
have
so
someone else's
but I'm
opinion.
getting
You
ready to
don't bring
say
your own
something.
situation to
I'm
the.
but I'm getting
This
ready to
is why I
say
don't feel
something.
you
But
have
I'm telling
anything
you
much to
something.
bring.
She
No, I'm telling you.
she
No,
she said she spoke about
no.
something that's serious about married women being raped,
Okay,
and I'm
Marvin.
giving you an
Okay.
example of that, and you don't want to hear that.
Marvin,
How as a
don't give
woman
me
you don't want to
someone
hear a
else's
man
example.
speak?
I would
How
like
is
to
it
hear
that you don't want to
your
hear
example.
as a woman a man
I really
speak
don't.
about
I really
his
don't.
support of
I
women
would like
when
you
it
to bring
becomes
your
to that?
experience to the
How
platform.
you don't want to
Bring
hear
your
that?
experience
How you don't want to hear that?
because you're always giving. I'm going to tell you why. You're always
What?
giving me someone else's supposition.
What are you talking
And
about? What are you talking about?
Let me finish saying it.
What are
and
you
you'll
talking about?
understand.
We
You
having a
don't
conversation.
ever
She was just
say,
speaking
okay,
about
so
a woman being raped. She was never raped as a wife. She was speaking of something outside of her situation, and I was giving experience
Marvin,
of. I mean, what are you talking
Marvin,
about?
you give
I don't
other
understand
people
what you're
to
talking about.
bring your experience to the platform, please.
What are
Don't
you
tell me
talking about?
about a
What do you, I
Jewish
don't
woman
understand.
because you started your conversation about a Jewish woman or a movie or a superstar or someone else. Marvin, for once, I would like you to bring your common experience to the table. Let me relate to you. I don't want to
Oh
hear
man.
about the other things in society that we all hear about. We all watch the same movies. We watch the
So the
same movies
topic.
about the same things.
What Renee
Yeah,
just
that's why
brought
I
up.
asked you questions,
What Renee
Marvin.
just
You
brought up.
wanted to
You
know why
didn't
I
want
don't
to.
ask you
You didn't
questions
want. What
because I don't
Renee
think you
just
have
brought
enough
up.
experience to bring to the
What
table.
what
So I don't
Renee
ask you
what
questions.
Renee what Renee just brought up about married women being raped by their husband. You don't feel she had a right to speak on that?
I'm not talking about Renee. I'm talking about you.
I know
Renee
you
knows
talking
what I'm
about
talking
the
about.
man.
I asked,
You talking about the
no,
man,
not
Marvin, and the
necessarily.
man doesn't have. You have
Not
a
necessarily, because Marvin,
you have an
already, this is
anger
my
and
opinion.
a disposition
Anger.
towards men,
I'm getting a
and
lot
it
of
Marvin,
comes
feedback.
out.
my
Hold on.
opinion is,
You have a
Marvin, you don't have
situation.
enough to bring to the table, so you bring other people's
You have a
experiences. Am I wrong?
situation.
What situation do I have? What do
You
you know
have
about me?
Listen.
anyway.
Hello.
All right.
Thank you. Bye. That's what I'm saying. Give somebody else a chance. I don't want to hear about the movie that I just watched last night.
Hello. I'm getting a
Yes,
lot of feedback
darling.
with the back and forth. So on this platform, experiences, but we can talk about what goes on in the world, because none of us have experienced everything that we talk about. I don't even know what the question was. I heard rape in a marriage. He was about to give an example of something. Just let me give an example, because most of us, I know I wasn't.
Okay, let me give an example. The last 20 minutes is going to be about somebody else, and he don't really know the ending of the story, but he gonna make it up. Go ahead. I got 20 minutes to spare. And my wine.
Marvin, go
I
ahead.
know.
Somebody's sipping too much. Go
No,
ahead.
I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna listen. I'm good. I lost my thought. I lost my spirit
You
in
were
what I was
talking
Thank
because I
about
you.
was in a
different
mood.
cultures.
I was in
You were
a moment, and I was in a moment with Renee, and I was feeling what she was saying, and I was getting ready to
and
give
he
an
did.
example of how women are abused even nowadays. That even though that situation with the laws that apply to women in this country, you know, they took it off the books, but still in different cultures and religion, there's still women suffering from abuse. And you know, and I was going to use an example of the Jewish faith where women can't even divorce their husband unless he lets them go. A woman in the Jewish faith can't just get a
That's
divorce.
not true.
She has to get.
A woman in the
That is
Jewish faith
true.
can't get a divorce.
No, she can't. No, she cannot.
Yes,
She
she
cannot
can.
divorce her. All right. Okay.
Yes, she
Look it
can.
up. No, she
She
can't.
doesn't need
She
So,
permission.
cannot.
She can.
She need.
so the reality is, or the truth is, right, that there are different sects of the Jewish religion,
Jewish.
and
Yes.
some
Because
sects,
needed different
some,
things.
right. So it depends on the level, it depends on the sex, it depends on the individual belief pattern. We can't talk about, you know, Jews as their one people. So you're both right.
Okay.
Some sects of the Jewish religion, she cannot. Looking at the Torah, she cannot.
That's what I'm talking about. The
Marvin,
Jewish
I'm saying,
religion. I didn't say. Yeah.
no, but it's the same thing. It's like you're talking about the Muslim religion, and you know the Sunni believes different than the Shiite. So it's still a religion. It's one religion, but there's different sects, so there's different beliefs. It's not, you know what I mean? I'm agreeing with you, but I'm also agreeing with Destiny. It's both. That's just the answer. So there's no reason to go back and forth on that.
But that wasn't
I
the whole
think,
point. The whole point wasn't to argue whether which religion. The whole point was that there are women
okay, no,
in
I
that
know, but it's
culture
important.
that
Okay,
suffer at the hands of men to this day. And the point, that's the only
yeah,
point I was making, but not
I
whether or not
understand.
which religion. And my point is, to this day, like I said, I'm all over the country. Women still suffer at the hands of
Yeah, your point is great. I think that we could also agree instead of disagree. So I was just simply saying that you're both actually right. Like it doesn't have to be a back and forth and argument. I'm just saying you're both
I'm
right
not
as
arguing.
far as the Jewish.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
even arguing.
All right.
Saying that
Getting
you're
back
not
to what I
arguing is
said.
arguing. Yeah, but
And
go
getting
ahead,
back to
Renee.
what I was saying, it's true. You know, back in the days, the men's could just take it any time, but that wasn't fair. I mean, sometimes you got to put yourself in the other person's shoe and don't do it. And no, I did not go through that in my marriage. However, I did go through it in the marriage, whereas if I didn't want to do it that day, or I was busy doing something, and because you was in the mood, you're going to get mad, then get mad, but you ain't taking it from me because that's my rights. So that's why it's abusive. If I say no, it's no, married or not. And if I say not now, I mean not now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Agreed.
that was.
So is it
that's
abusive?
what I suffer through sometimes.
Yeah.
And the
That
other
So
thing,
let
just
me
to
ask you.
clarify, just the other, really quickly, because I'm not going to be long-winded. The other thing, just to clarify, that women or marriage, rape in a marriage is at the state level. So some states in this country still do not look at rape as a crime within a marriage. That is at the state level. So although we said it used to be in this country, yeah, I just want to state that that is still something that, you know, women rights still continue to fight, because it's not a crime. It's not at the federal level. It's a state law, and some states allow it.
Well, I feel like this. I'm gonna close on this. Until some women start listening to righteous men and not close their ears to the truth, we still going to be separated as a people, a family, as far as black men and women, because you have black women who don't want to listen, and they feel like everything that they believe in their mind and heart is truth and fact, and that's that your emotions could sometimes lead you down a wayward path. And if you don't get spiritually connected to your men and to men in a spiritual aspect, and you keep relying on your emotions to be your guide and your mouthpiece, you'll never find peace. You'll never find peace with a man or with any man if women keep allowing themselves to be their emotions to be their God rather than their instincts and the spirit. And a lot of spirit is lost in a lot of women. So we're gonna have this continued separation sexually, spiritually, mentally, until women's and men to some extent too. It goes both ways, but a lot of women need to listen and be receptive to certain things and not angry all the time, where their anger blocks out the truth and their growth process and connecting. Because a lot of men could be giving a jewel to a woman, and she's so angry and hatred and have so much hatred towards men, she don't even hear it. She missing the jewel because she just have so much hatred in her heart towards men. So I'm gonna leave it on that note and just say I hope that we come to a day where we can all listen to each other and be receptive to each other. That's the only way we're gonna grow as a people, as a family, as a unit. But I gotta ride. It's getting late. It's almost late. I gotta eat something, but not literally.
Yeah.
I mean some food.
So I didn't say nothing. I said nothing. So yeah, we were long-winded tonight, but again, this is a topic that can just go on and on and on.
Yeah, we can go to 1 o'clock. I could go to 1 o'clock in the morning with this.
Okay.
This don't end. I mean,
there's so many things under this umbrella.
So yeah.
And of course,
yeah,
we can continue the conversation on other times. Next time we come back, it'll be a lighter conversation. We don't want everything to be so grim and serious every time, but we will continue this at a later date.
I don't know. I don't think
Marvin I come back on this one. No. So unless y'all have any closing words. No.
Just everybody stay blessed. And just love, man. Love one another, and keep wanting. You're in a relationship. This was about relationships, and if you're in a relationship and you want the best out of it, be willing to grow and change within it. And that's all. Listen. Genuinely, just pay attention to the signs and grow, grow with one another, and that's the only way we're gonna find that peace. And so I'll close with that.
Okay, that's your close, which means you can't talk again. Ha ha ha! That was funny. Don't.
All right.
Yeah, so just as a close, Marvin, I agree with what you're saying. And I also feel that there is meaning that there's mutual respect that's needed, and it's mutual respect. But there is a way to talk to a woman, there is a way to get a point across, there is a way to get a woman to listen without, sometimes it's the way, right? So if the expectation, and the problem with the black woman, there is a responsibility that is lacking in our black men in learning how to speak to us and how to respond. So my closing, a woman that was raised by a man, I have a very strong voice, from a black man, my father, my grandfather, my pastor, my husband, all of that, you know what I mean? I honor, and the greatest creation is the black man, and that is what I truly believe. And with that said, sometimes, right? I don't even want to say oftentimes, I'm not going to put a time frame. It is how the man comes across that shuts our ears. So if the goal is to get us to listen, right, and to trust and respect and all of those things, the delivery often needs to change. And there has to be accountability on our counterpart, from our counterpart, to make us secure enough to listen. We listen and we submit well to where we have security, trust, and trust. When that's missing, we turn our ears away. That's my closing.
And my
Okay.
closing is,
Okay, my closing is, as a woman of a certain age, and we were talking about abuse, I think if you're in a relationship and you just can't reconcile the thing or the things that is going on, if you are more unhappy and distrustful about the things that's going on, chances are you are being abused on some level. And my advice to you is find your way out. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, it may not be next week, but find your way out. You have a responsibility to yourself, and you have a responsibility to feel good about yourself, and the responsibility is yours. You can't blame it on someone else. Even though the person may be the cause of it, you have to be responsible enough to take you back. So however long it takes for you to do that, do it.
Okay, Brittany, your closing?
And my closing is, I agree with everyone and everything you all had just said. The most important thing is we all have to get along. Male and female, we all have to get along. The man have to be accepting to what a woman said, and they have to recognize what she is going through or have been through, and find a way to capture something in her and pull her in to realize her self-love, to let her know that she is better than that. And a woman has to realize the man is supposed to be the head. And when he drops a little knowledge, you need to be receptive to learning from him so that you don't demasculate him. And also, what needs to be said is that a woman that's being abused, is a village to help her find her way. When you know and you recognize it, it's a way about showing her that she can do better and that she needs to get out without saying, you are being abused and you have to do this. Show her where self-love, she can find it within herself, and she doesn't have to go through what she's going through. And with that being said, get out sooner than later. Good night, everyone.
Good night, and thank you for that. And you know, I'm gonna close with saying I appreciate you all for being here tonight and sharing your views and your experiences and your thoughts. Even though you know we took it left, we got playful and we joked around. This is a serious matter, abuse and control. And a lot of times people don't recognize when they are in it. So us again being on the other side of 40 are just giving you examples of what could be, what you could be in, and if you need help or advice on getting out, you can always speak to one of us. I am the Get Out Queen. So I cannot give you Get Out examples on here, but you can bet that if you call me, you can message me, and I can definitely be of help. I'm still here over 40, so I promise you my methods work. And with that being said, we were not trying to man bash Marvin. I appreciate your views. I even learned something about myself that my aggression can be abusive. I'm gonna step back. I am. All right, so we're gonna close with that. And again, Destiny, you want to give us that international this
What's that?
international sign
For help?
see
Yes.
or help. Yes, for I guess domestic violence. So if you see someone in public
Oh,
and they
And
do
they do
this,
that.
that means they need help. They're in a
oh,
situation that they don't want to be in.
oh, okay.
If you
I
see
didn't know
that,
that.
call for help. Yeah, this is what she taught us last time. So it's just a refresher.
Wow.
This is help. You see this. All right, so with that, we're going to close because we are long-winded. It is 11 o'clock. Most of us got to get up in the morning.
It's past my bedtime.
Um, if you need help, don't be afraid to reach out to anyone. All right, so with that, good night,
Hey.
everyone.
Good night.
Good night.